I once again request all the attendees who are standing outside to kindly come in the hall and settle down as we're about to begin. Can we settle down? Yeah. Good morning to all of you. My name is Saksham, and on the behalf of Foundation for MSME Clusters, I welcome you all to the 6th Responsible BMO Award, supported by Small Industries Development Bank of India and FNF, that is Frederick Norman Foundation for Freedom. For our opening session, I would like to invite Dr. Shubhranshu Acharya ji, CGM, Small Industries Development Bank of India. Dr. Acharya is the current CGM of Small Industries Development Bank of India. Mr. Acharya has been engaged in the development of finance sector since last 30 years in core areas of MSME financing and development, innovation and incubation, startup mentoring, microfinance, micro-enterprise creation, entrepreneurship development, credit, risk management, credit development, credit rating, livelihood financing, and innovation. We welcome you, sir. And now, I would like to invite Dr. Carsten Klein, South Asia Regional Head, FNF, that is Frederick Norman Foundation for Freedom. Dr. Klein started working with the German Armed Forces, joining the Foreign and Security Policy section of the parliamentary group of the Free Democratic Party in Bundestag, the German parliament in Berlin, following by managing the FDP parliamentary group in 2 state assemblies. He was also managing the department responsible for international business of the Federal Employment Agency, the Central Placement Office for Foreigners and Specialists. We welcome you, sir, and request you to kindly take your seat on the dais. Is Ajay Shankar? Okay. Now I would like to request Shri Mukesh Gulati, Executive Director, Foundation for MSME Clusters. We welcome you, sir. Okay. Right, sir. Shri Ajay Shankar ji, our former Secretary, DIPP, Government of India, and Chairperson of Foundation for MSME Clusters, will be joining shortly. I request all of you to kindly switch off your phones or at least put them on silent mode. I'm deeply saddened to inform you that Professor Y.K. Alag passed away on 6 December 2022 at his residence in Ahmedabad. As most of you are aware that he donned many hats, including former Union Minister, agricultural economist, member of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji's Advisory Committee on celebrating the 75th year of India's independence. Professor Alag had been the chairperson of the Institute of Rural Management Anand from 2006 to 2012. He was the Chancellor of Central University of Gujarat, Gandhinagar, and Vice Chairman, Sardar Patel Institute of Economic and Social Research, Ahmedabad. He had also been the former trustee and chairperson of the Foundation for MSME Clusters. I request you all to kindly stand up for a minute of silence in remembrance to Professor Y.K. Alag. You may take your seats now. Thank you so much. For our opening session, now I request Shri Mukesh Gulati, Executive Director, Foundation for MSME Clusters, for his welcome address. So,
thank you, Saksham. Let me first of all welcome you all for this 6th BMO Awards program, which we had initiated in the year 2014. Basically, the purpose behind this BMO Awards was that we consider the industry associations as a very strong pillar for the growth of the MSMEs in India, and also for industry and service sector as a whole. And I recall Professor Y. K. Alag once again in the year 2005, when we were just about to set up this foundation. I went to him requesting him if he could be the first chairperson of the organization. And over the years, he reminded us again and again that, of course, government is one very strong pillar. The private sector is another very strong pillar. And then you need civil society organizations to take the whole tripartite networking and linkages much ahead. And he's the one who had then suggested at some point of time that why not recognize some of the good industry associations who have been working and doing some wonderful work in the country, and to identify them, make the case studies for them, and then award them so that this good work can be propagated ahead. So we started off in the year 2005 on the BMO Awards. And today it happens to be the 6th BMO Award. For the last 2 years, we could not organize the BMO Awards because of the COVID situation. But we are glad that we are back, and we will certainly now strive to ensure that we have annual awards like this going on every year. I'm sure in the third session, when we have the actual awards ceremony going on, that is the time when we will be explaining a little more about how this award system functions, what are the different categories, how many awardees and finalists are there, and so on and so forth. But I would also like to now take this opportunity to brief you a little bit about the foundation. We started off in the year 2005, as I said, and in that year, we were still a few of us working with United Nations Industrial Development Organization, 3 or 4 of us who were then part of that body to undertake cluster-based development of the MSMEs in India. The then Secretary, Mr. S.K. Tuteja, Ministry of SSI, that was what it was called at that point of time, suggested that it would be a good idea if we can host an institution which is Indian in its character to take forward the entire work, rather than waiting for the international agencies to continue funding through the UNIDO. That idea was then nurtured with UNIDO to initiate the whole genesis of this organization in the year 2005. And the ethos of the organization is that for any cluster, whether it is a bicycle cluster in Ludhiana, or it is a Panipat textile cluster, or a Tirupur hosiery cluster, and so on and so forth, all these clusters in India, they require some kind of a software, and the software would essentially means a good governance structure. In a good governance structure, the different stakeholders, the different institutions in each of these clusters must necessarily be strong in themselves, but they must also be able to work with one another. The value chain stakeholders, whether it is the banks or the financial institutions or the raw material providers or the machinery suppliers, must be able to come forward and have a higher order vision of where they stand today and where they want to take the cluster forward, and then be able to take it forward. And I'm glad that in the 17 years of our journey, we have continued to build our work only on that ethos, only on that objective, around those objectives only, and take it forward. And I'm very glad that our strong board, now being chaired by Mr. Ajay Shankar, who is here with us, he is the third chairperson after Professor Y.K. Alag, and then Mr. Arun Maira, and then Mr. Ajay Shankar. So the entire board with the chairpersons have been guiding us in this journey of ours. And I'm personally very grateful to our board to help us shape our work in this direction. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the Friedrich Naumann Foundation, who have been supporting us for the last couple of years in building up the innovation-focused cluster development system. This foundation, where fortunately I was also a part of this organization for almost 8 years. I worked in the organization as the program executive long back. And this organization is, as it says very clearly, is for freedom. So the social freedom, the economic freedom, the political freedom. So the whole ideology of Friedrich Naumann Foundation is around freedom. And it certainly, Mr. Klein will be speaking a little more about it. But they are also very strongly focused upon building industry associations as a very strong pillar of the local governance structures to take it forward. I also wish to thank SIDBI, Small Industries Development Bank of India, from where Mr. Subhranshu Acharya is here. SIDBI is one organization that we have been working with very closely for the last entire journey of our organization. Even prior to that, I would say, when we were with United Nations, even at that point of time for almost 10 years, I think so, our personal journey with SIDBI has been at least for 25 years, if not less, to take it forward, the whole focus of small and medium enterprises. And today, most of our work, whether it is Ministry of MSME, or it is Ministry of Textiles, or it is Ministry of Food Processing, is very strongly anchored around clusters and cluster development. That has also been shaped very considerably, I would say, with SIDBI in the forefront, which is actually an organization that I respect a lot, not only because of the financing which they do for the small enterprises, which is certainly there, but also in ideating new possibilities of promotion and development, which has been a very strong department in the SIDBI right from the very beginning. Initially, the amounts of the money they may be spending may not look very considerable in comparison to the what the government of India spends and the different ministries spend, but they keep innovating with new and new ideas of what can be done to take it forward, and keep coming up with new ways which then are adopted by other organizations to take it forward. So this becomes like an incubation for taking it forward. So thank you very much for joining us. And last of all, I do not want to miss this opportunity to thank Dr. Bhaskar Chatterjee, our eminent board of trustees. Today we have Dr. H.P. Kumar here, and all our jury members who have been helping us to take this forward, and also all the business membership organizations who have been very enthusiastically participating in this competition to take it forward. So now we have sort of 6 booklets on the case studies over the years of the good work which has been done by the BMOs. They are all available on our website, and we continue to look forward to having more and more such organizations and BMOs taking it forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to invite and welcome Shri Ajay Shankarji, Chairman, Foundation for MSME Clusters. Mr. Shankar is a former Secretary of Government of India. He has rich and varied experience in public service for over 40 years. He served as Secretary, Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion of the Government of India, where his key responsibilities included FDI policy, investment promotion, and the IPR regime in the country. He was the chairman of National Productivity Council and of the Quality Council of India. He initiated the setting up of Invest India to facilitate enhanced inflow of FDI. We welcome you, sir, and request you for your opening remarks.
uh, Shri Mukesh Gulati, our Dynamic Executive Director, Dr. Carsten Klein, Dr. Acharya, and many friends in the audience, as well as all those from the BMOs who are here. I would begin by saying that I'm absolutely delighted to be here today because we are coming back to normal times. We are having a physical event of this kind after a couple of years, I think. And this return to normalcy is something to be very grateful for. Now, our world, the world of MSMEs, has been through great pain in this period. Apart from the pain of, people who we know suffering from COVID or losing some loved ones, I think on the side of business income, we have all experienced great pain, and the maximum pain has been in the small and medium enterprise sector and micro enterprise sector. Only the other day I was in Chennai and taking the cab to the airport, and the cab driver was telling me that before COVID he had 7 vehicles, he's now down to 2. And one can hear anecdotes like this all across the world. So I think this is also a good day because we will be celebrating outstanding work during the course of the day, recognizing outstanding work. And I think all those of us who are involved with this now need to think hard and also think creatively, and then try and create a buzz, let me use that colloquial word, in the ecosystem so that this sector can move not only to recover but to take off in a big way. At a macro level, the fact is that this country has a serious crisis in terms of employment generation and growing inequality. Both these would get addressed to a considerable extent if the micro and small enterprises really take off and grow at the dynamic pace at which they have the potential of growing. So I will not take much time right now. I would again say that I'm just delighted that we are spending some time together, having a physical event, and at a time when we can also be grateful for return to normalcy, and we need to work hard to create greater confidence and optimism about the heights which we can scale. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Dr. Carsten Klein, South Asia Regional Head, Friedrich Naumann Foundation for Freedom, for his special remarks. Sir.
Dear esteemed guests, Mr. Shankar, Mr. Ajaya, Mr. Gulati, Dr. Chatterjee, Dr. Malhotra, Dr. Kumar, I feel very privileged to deliver a short little special address at this very, I might after 6 times, traditional BMO Award and Innovation Promotion. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to concentrate a little bit on Germany and Europe instead of India, because of course I'm not really an expert so much in Indian economic affairs. Micro, small and medium enterprises contribute, of course, substantially to the overall state economy's situation. In Germany, for example, we have 2.6 million SMEs in 2022, employing more than 90 million people. That is a third, more than a third of the working population in Germany. And that figure comprises more than 60% of the GDP in Germany. However, and please also let me say that here, the war in Ukraine has also very negative effects and consequences, especially also to the sector of MSMEs. Because high energy prices, supply chain disruption, a lack of raw materials, and a loss of market access, Ukraine, Russia were both very relevant markets, of course, are affecting the competitiveness of the German SME and startup scene a lot. I would therefore say the best thing would be to end that war really immediately. But let us also say that in the light of this very highly volatile socio-economic scenario globally, BMO awarding, this happening here is extremely relevant as it is acknowledging, promoting, and also encouraging young people, those who find and promote startup scene a lot. But let me also say, at least from a German point of view, there are also major drawbacks in that scene at the moment. Number one, there is a certain lack of financial opportunities. In Germany, MSMEs are still unable to integrate seamlessly with the finance sector because of very strict collateral requirements. And there is also a lack of adequate and timely access to finance, and especially, unfortunately, a tremendous lack of venture capital in Western Europe in general. And secondly, that is also a phenomenon which you most probably don't see here in South Asia at the moment. And fortunately, we face an enormous gap of skilled, very well and trained staff. So there is a lack of between 350 to 400,000 skilled workers missing every year on the German labor market to fulfill major work on that labor market and in order to maintain the prosperity of the country. That is really a tremendous figure and also a tremendous lack. And therefore, I might also say I'm very happy that there is especially now a very good treaty and engagement between India and Germany regarding the possibility to more exchange of labor force. It would be, by the way, very good for many Germans, scholars, but also students to also come to India to study the specific and very fruitful situation here in the country. But let me also say startups are, of course, centers of novel innovations. They generate jobs, they fill niche opportunities, especially being affiliated to universities and research institutes, and they really are driving technological growth, which leads then to a generally stronger economic situation. Unfortunately, coming back to this underfinanciation, we at the moment see in the field of venture capital, unfortunately, only US money, majorly coming to Western Europe, which is, from my perspective, a not very good development. Anyway, what we need in the sector of startups especially are positive role models. And to create also a very encouraging environment, especially for young people. And we also need from a German perspective, I think that is different here in South Asia. We also need to build a culture of acceptance of failure. That is something what is really missing in Germany and in many other European countries. This culture that it is very accepted in society that as an entrepreneurial personality you have the right and sometimes you have the obligation to fail. That is really missing. And unlike in Germany, from my observation, at least this startup culture in South Asia is still very vibrant. Especially the young, energetic population and the big market opportunities encourage especially younger people and also women, let me please emphasize that also, to start up. And therefore, Mr. Gulati, we are very, very happy to have with FMC a long-standing, very relevant partner, bringing it a lot of new, fresh ideas, which should foster the whole scenery of startups, and which is definitely fostering that scenery. And also, we are strictly in the same position of believing that market economies guarantees the citizens' freedoms and prosperity. Not least, I would like to say again, thank you very much to those who applied for this prize. I learned more than 150. That shows an enormous courage. Thank you to those who are winning, but also to those who are starting up here in India, who are starting up in South Asia. You are really the pathfinders of modern economy. You contribute a lot to the societies here in South Asia, so you are really positive role models. Thank you very much for your commitment. Thank you very much for the framework you deliver. Thank you very much for the organizations like FMO for this excellent commitment. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Dr. Klein, for your inspiring words. Now I request Dr. Shubhranshu Acharya, CGM, Small Industries Development Bank of India, for his keynote address. So.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, Mr. Gulati, Mr. Karlstein, Dr. Anand, dignitaries of the dais, Dr. Chatterjee, Dr. Kumar, Dr. Mehrotra, many friends, known friends from industry, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to all of you. In fact, I too am elated to attend today's program because I remember last time, I think around 3-4 years ago, I had an opportunity to be in this forum and interact with many of our industry friends. Now, this awarding of the business membership organizations or industry associations, as we know it, is an initiative that goes beyond just the awards, because the industry associations, the kind of role they are playing, I'll just take few minutes to describe some of my experiences with the BMOs and how, with the help of BMOs, we have actually expanded our outreach and reached to the sections which needed some intervention, development intervention. As you know, Mr. Gulati was talking about SIDBI. SIDBI, more than a bank, it is a development finance institution, and development is the first name of SIDBI. finance comms letter, because this is the purpose, this is the mandate with which the Indian Parliament has set up this novel institution. Sir, you spoke about the MSMEs in Germany, 2.6 million employing 90 million people in Germany, right, sir? So that speaks about the enormous size of the German MSMEs. I'll give you a picture of Indian MSMEs. We have roughly 70 million MSMEs, and they are employing just little more than what you are employing in Germany. That is 110 million people approximately. That means, the employment opportunities though exist, but the size of our MSMEs remain literally micro and, if I can say, nano. So, more than 90% of our MSMEs are in the first M, not in the second M, that is the micro, and I think more than 75% of that M fall in nano category. They are single account enterprises, mostly, one person managing the entire show. So that is the reason, it has tremendous potential, possibly more than enterprise creation. I was just discussing with my team, we had an intense deliberation, whether it is good to now go in for more enterprise creation, or to go for acceleration of the nano and micro enterprises. What will be a better intervention? Of course, both are good, but what is better? So it is acceleration, because the figures are contrasting, 90 million people employed by 2.6 million in Germany, and 110 million people, 11 crore as you say it, employed by 70 million MSMEs in India. So that means that calls for an acceleration rather than new enterprise creation. We have enterprises, but what we need is the intervention for accelerating the growth of the micro and nano enterprises. In fact, another figure is that this sector is contributing to 30% of the economy. Agriculture, that is contributing hardly 18 to 20% to the economy, employs about 50% of the workforce. We are primarily an agrarian economy. That speaks how much of disguised unemployment exists in the country. 18 to 20% of the GDP coming from 50% of the workforce is surely not a very good sign. No wonder we keep on talking about doubling the income of the farmers, but sometimes it goes. It requires much more action than just increasing because with increasing mechanization and the exact labor force requirement in the agriculture may decrease further. So for keeping that in view, we need to actually invest in our nano and micro enterprises so that they can grow, and when they grow, they create employment opportunities. So, coming back to the BMOs, how the BMOs can actually play a role. BMOs are the association of MSMEs, and here people who sit in the BMOs are definitely not nano enterprises. They might have started nano, they might have started small, but they have outgrown themselves and they have really become big. Maybe they are medium, or maybe they are in the large categories. So it is very, very important for them to actually mentor and handhold these micro enterprises so that they can actually grow and they can share their experiences. They can do an exact one-to-one mentoring sessions with the small or micro enterprises so that they also grow and create opportunities, create value, create wealth in the nation. So that is one, and I'll tell some of the examples how the BMOs have really played a pivotal role in promoting some of the requirements that the society needs, or that the nation needs, or maybe for that matter that their members need. Going back, so see, SEDBI has been working with the BMOs very, very closely since inception, more than 3 decades ago when SEDBI was set up. We knew that if we have to reach out to the SMEs, then it is the industry associations through which that could be a good vehicle. We can expand our outreach and do some interventions for them. I remember when we started, today we are all talking about sustainable development, but sustainable development is something that has been at the forefront of SEDBI's development interventions since almost its inception. If you remember, there is a very infamous cluster in India, in eastern part of the country, more particularly in Calcutta, nowadays Kolkata. It is a Howrah Foundry cluster. It's a very, very polluting cluster, and we thought we should do some development intervention in this cluster. So, those days I was in Kolkata. It was the mid 90s or late 90s, and we thought, we employed some expert, and he told us that these foundries in this cluster are deploying or using the single blast cupola, and resultantly the oxygenation is very less, so the pollution is very high. So if a simple intervention by replacing the single blast cupola with a double blast cupola, so that the oxygenation improves, and ultimately that reduces the energy requirement and less pollution, perhaps would be a good solution. With this simple thing to do, we tried our hands with almost all MSMEs, but we failed. We could not convince a single person, to come forward and, take this intervention, which in the initial few things we were ready to give in free. But fortunately, we met when we discussed this with the BMO of the local area industry association, the president and the secretary, they were very, very forward-looking people, because they were able to see through the future, because it was going to come today or tomorrow, and they agreed that they will set up the demonstration plants in their premises itself, and they did it. So the demonstration plants were set up in their premises, and many people came forward, but still it was just 10% of the foundries which came forward. Fortunately, as they say that when you intensely desire something, then the entire universe conspires to help you out to do that, to achieve that. So, Honorable Supreme Court of India came out with a ruling that you mend your ways or close down. And after that, this intervention that we were talking to these people, they, it reached them, and everyone adopted this, and again the factory gates were reopened. Some of them were actually closed after the order of Honorable Supreme Court. So what I am trying to say is the BMOs play a very pivotal role in driving home some of the development interventions which initially their members may or may not be necessarily inclined to go for it, because this Newton's law applies here also, because it is the either inertia, unless external force is applied, something will not move, or something which is moving, it will not stop. So similarly, that external force comes from the BMOs, which actually be a persuading force with their membership. Secondly, today I can tell you, today we are living in an era of collaboration, the area of cooperation, the era of confrontation is over. Today, either all of us progress, or all of us will we sink together. So either we sink or swim together. It is that kind of a situation, and through collaboration, through cooperation, we prosper. So that's why when people talk about 3 Ps or 4 Ps, like product, price, promotion, etc. I strongly believe that another P is very, very important, that is partnerships. So, any organization, because SIDBI is an organization which is a development organization for the MSMEs, it is a vehicle of Government of India for developing the MSMEs. So, we believe that, through partnerships, through this new P of partnerships only, we can, do something for the MSMEs to grow, to grow in a sustainable manner. So here I see the role of the BMOs as very, very, very important. And having said that, I'll tell you that on many occasions we speak that we have 7 crores of MSMEs or more than that, but hardly 10-20% of that get credit from the banking system. So primarily the reason is they are informal, and getting credit from the formal financial system becomes difficult. So it is very, very important to now leverage technology and bring into them to the formal system. So we have recently taken off a very massive intervention to formalize the informal MSMEs, which again is mammoth. 80% of Indian MSMEs are not formal; they operate informally. So that if you see the Udyam platform of the Ministry of MSME, hardly there will be 1 crore plus minus something this registrations. That means the rest 6 crores are not formal. They are not recognized in the system. Somewhere they are not reflecting in the system. So this through this initiative, we believe that through technology we can reach out to them and we can bring it to a formal platform so that they can also access to the formal financial services and other developmental services that is available from Government of India. There are n number of other initiatives, development interventions that is going on. Maybe that is for another occasion. Today I take this opportunity to congratulate the winners of the BMO Awards of 2022 and also compliment Mr. Mukesh Gulati and his team at Foundation of MSME Clusters to have organized this event to recognize the good work by the BMOs. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to request Shri Mukesh Gulati, Executive Director, Foundation for MSME Clusters, for his concluding remarks and vote of thanks.
Respecting the time constraint, I would simply like to say thank you very much. Please.
I'll come, sir. All right. So, thank you, sir. Now I request Shri Ajay Shankar ji to present a memento to Dr. Subhranshu Acharya ji. Please. And now I request Dr. Shri Ajay Shankar ji to present a memento to Dr. Carsten Klein. I would like to request Shri Mukesh Gulati ji to present a memento to Shri Ajay Shankar ji. Now I would request our dignitaries to kindly come forward for a group photograph. Thank you so much. This marks the end of our first session. Thank you. हाँ मैं वही चेक कर रहा था शी इज अनुभव द लेडी वाज जस्ट कम शी इज अनुभव कहाँ है उधर पीछे आई कांट सी हर दिख नहीं रही है दैट्स व्हाई आई वाज थिंकिंग हाँ देखते हैं कम में से कोई करेगा ओके एक चेयर और चाहिए होगी She's here, sir. She's here. Huh? I think that's the one, the lady who's sitting in the second row. The blue saree. हाँ यही second row पे करेंगे. Right. Center में ये पांचवी चेयर ऊपर. I'll start with Manisha जी. मैं मनीषा जी से शुरू करूँगा. मैं मनीषा जी से शुरू करूँगा. अच्छा ठीक. चाहिए पांचवी चेयर हाँ पर I I request all of you to kindly keep your phones on silent mode as we're about to start the second session. All right. Starting with our second session, that is the panel discussion on promoting innovation and digitalization among the MSMEs and startups. For our second session, I request all of you to kindly settle down as we are starting our second session. For our second session, I would like to invite Dr. Manisha Acharya, Senior Advisor, SOA University. Dr. Manisha Acharya is a seasoned professional with a work experience of 20 years in the field of innovation, incubation, and life science research. She has rich experience of working on projects pertaining to TBI sustainability and seed funding supports to startups and incubators. She has also been nominated to the Expert Advisory Committee of ISTED Program of Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, and was awarded the prestigious British Chevening Fellowship in Science, Research and Innovation at the University of Oxford in 2019. Besides, she also serves as an advisory board member and mentor to some of the incubation centers and startups in India. She's a member of Women Angel Investors in Let's Venture platform. We welcome you, ma'am, and thank you so much for coming. Now, I would like to request Dr. Bhaskar Chatterjee, CEO, Anil Agarwal Foundation. Dr. Chatterjee is a recognized and a key leader in the area of corporate social responsibility. He's an IS from the 1975 batch and has played a major role in the inclusion of Section 135 in the Companies Act of 2013 and framing the rules thereafter. He has also authored books. One of them is titled Sustainable Futures, Imperative for Managing the Social Agenda, which shows how government, corporates, and civil society organizations can synergize their efforts to build a whole new paradigm of development that is sustainable, humanistic, and inclusive. We welcome you, sir. Now, I request Dr. Tamal Sarkar. Dr. Tamal Sarkar, Senior Advisor, Foundation for MSME Clusters. Dr. Sarkar is a DPhil in the economics of cluster development and has hands-on experience of over 25 years in leading over 75 cluster development projects in handicrafts, mainly textiles, ceramics, handlooms, pottery, metal, bamboo, as well as industrial clusters like pharmaceutical, foundry, processed foods, leather, textile, coir, etc. in India, as well as in and around 15 countries in Asia, Africa, and Europe. He has around 50 publications on cluster development. He has authored a number of policy and methodology documents in cluster development in the area of cluster financing, poverty alleviation, twinning, innovation, and resource-based planning. He's a trainer in cluster development and has conducted over 100 training programs on cluster and network-based developments in India and abroad. We welcome you, sir. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Anubha Prasad, General Manager, Small Industries Development Bank of India. Dr. Prasad is a General Manager with SIDBI with extensive experience in MSME, impact investment, and startup space. She founded Karikeba Venture, the pioneering incubation cum impact investment platform for startups and innovative businesses working for underserved geographies in India, which we call Bharat. Dr. Prasad worked as National Coordinator India at the UN Environment Programme from 2018 to 2020, leading projects that strives to put inclusion, innovation, equality, equity, and sustainability. Dr. Anuba has held board-level position in several government and private companies and is presently on the advisory board of World Resource Institute. We welcome you, ma'am. And now, I would like to invite Mr. Vimal Kumar, co-founder of Finovista. Mr. Kumar leads MECS programs in India and co-founded Finovista. Mr. Vimal holds strong experience in program and fund management, multi-stake program management, in-country representation, sustainable finance technologies, technology transfers and management, international trade and investment, strategy and corporate development for startups, spin-offs and MSMEs. Prior to Finovista, he was the head of strategy and partnership with GITA, that is Global Innovation and Technology Alliance, a JV between the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, and Confederation of Indian Industries, that is CII. We welcome you, sir. Now I would like to request Dr. Anubha Prasad to kindly moderate the session. Over to you, ma'am.
A very good morning, and it's always a pleasure to be at the award function for Responsible BMOs, which is FMC's flagship event, and I've had the privilege to associate as a jury member in past. So I'm welcoming all the participants from BMO side, the audience, the policy makers, and also my fellow panelists. And it's a great privilege to moderate a panel comprising such distinguished guests. So with those words, I would invite all the panelists to give some opening remarks about the topic. The topic at hand is how can we drive innovation in the MSME space, and what can we do as change makers in the sphere of innovation in MSMEs. So I would request Manisha first to go, and Manisha has been introduced by the MC, I am sure, and with such varied experience in innovation, startup, angel investing, and also incubation, acceleration of startups. I'm sure Manisha is a very close fit to talk about innovation and, of course, how you can drive this in MSME sphere. So over to you, Manisha.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'd like to give my thanks to inviting for this forum and this organization and this award ceremony. So you see that our innovation ecosystem is now very conducive. This is 2022, that our position is now 40th, which was in 2021 and it was 46. So our movement towards the innovation ecosystem is, we are going in the right way. That is what I want to say. And if you see the every university, every even corporates, everywhere there is a incubation centers, because that is incubation centers are to promote the innovation. Even the corporate like the Microsoft, TCS, they have the innovation lab, because they know, every corporate, they know to sustain in their market, they need the innovation. So, and it is, if you see the government agencies like the Department of Science and Technology or Ministry of MSME or even Atal Innovation Mission, MeitY, everyone they have the, to develop the innovation, they have the different prototype grant or different seed fund support, because that is what is the requirement to develop the innovation to the business. Here I would like to mention that is in incubation centers, if you see, our students are quite, means our talent is not a dearth in India. There are many talented students are here, talented people are here, innovations are here. What we saw in western part, like in Oxford, or you can say in Boston, there are many good innovations are coming from university itself, and those innovations are used in the market. So that is still we need to move forward. That is still we need to work, because our IITs, they have lots of talents. They have that is, and also in IIMs, they have also a lot of talent. Even different engineering colleges, different universities. What we need, that is to give a proper direction to them, proper direction to bring their innovation to the market. So that is the reason why we have established different incubation center to different ministries. Like in every university now, we need have the incubation centers. They have and why that need of that incubation center? That is for the innovation. They need the good infrastructure, good R&D facilities, because to develop their innovation, they need some R&D facilities. And in the initial period, they don't have that capacity to do their R&D work by themselves. So that is with the infrastructure support, with the funding support, with the good mentoring support, because mentoring support is also very much required for the innovations, from the idea validation to prototype development to market the product. Every stage they need the proper guidance. So that is the very crucial role. You can say the innovation centers are now the launchpad for the innovators. And also if you see that not only the academic institution, now many corporates like they have their innovation lab, and where the students, they can work properly with their exact the problem identification to proper product development. So things are now improving, and here I would like to mention that if you say there is in MSME sector also, there is the need of innovation to sustain in their market. So maybe we can discuss further later on regarding this, how the MSMEs, they can also collaborate, they can also do these things further, because startup, we always thought that it's always the requirement of the innovation only for startups. No. If you see for MSMEs also, the innovation is very much requirement. And that is what, like that corporates, the corporate, they need the innovation every place, every stage. In the same manner, our MSMEs are also, they need the innovation. So this is the thing, and I think there is a need of the work, because there are lots of questions are there, why MSMEs are not incubated in the incubation center. There is a question. So we can discuss that thing also later on.
Thanks, Manisha. I'm sure you must be having some very interesting thoughts. Yeah, a round of applause for Dr. Acharya. Thanks very much for highlighting the need of convergence of academia, innovators, as well as incubators, and of course, bringing MSMEs, the larger sector, in the picture. So thanks, Manisha. We'll have more deliberations whenever we have time. So I'm moving on to Dr. Chatterjee, Mr. Chatterjee, Mr. Bhaskar Chatterjee. A very distinguished personality with such a wide, diverse and extensive experience in bureaucracy, as well as in corporate affairs, as well as with this Vedanta Anil Agarwal Foundation, which is CSR related work. And Dr. Chatterjee, Mr. Chatterjee has so it's this doctor fixation is not going. It is Dr. Sungate. So its a very long-lasting contribution is, making CSR mandatory for corporates, earmarking a certain percentage of their profits for CSR work, so which is broad-basing CSR and also making them accountable, which is a very long-lasting contribution, I must say. So I'm moving on to you, Dr. Bhaskar, maybe you can give your opening remarks about how innovations can drive the rural economy, which is still the mainstay of Indian economy as we look at it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anuba, for that very nice introduction. My senior colleague, Mr. Ajay Shankar, fellow panelists, former colleagues, Santosh Mehrotra, Mr. Kumar, distinguished delegates who are here today, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me say that very warm congratulations to the Foundation for MSME Clusters and Mr. Mukesh Gulati in particular for organizing this platform yet again and giving people like us the opportunity to reconnect face to face with audiences one more time after a long break. So thank you very much for the opportunity. I thought I would speak just a few minutes in the initial phase about rural innovation, because that's the topic given to me, and I was wondering why, what's the difference between rural and urban innovation? Innovation is innovation, period. I mean, that's about it. But when you look at the landscape of India as a nation, so much of our country is rural, agricultural, remote, backward, aspirational. And for that reason, we need to make sure that whatever innovations or an innovation ecosystem that we create must access the remotest parts of our country. I think Manisha spoke about incubators, and Mr. Acharya from SIDBI spoke about micro and nano enterprises. And that tells you that more than 90% of micro, nano, and very, very small enterprises spread out across the rural heartland of this country have absolutely no access to anything like incubators or anything like the startup facilities. And yet, that is where the pulse and the heart of India beats. How can we create an ecosystem that is, let's say, technologically enabled, digitally aware, and from that, how can we extract innovation? Innovation that is not a one-off, innovation that is not costly, innovation that is doable, replicable, economical. If that kind of innovation doesn't happen, believe me, it's of no use to the rural population at large, or to the very large number of nano and micro enterprises who are literally dotting the landscape of rural India. So in my view, and I'll stay with the introductory remarks here, who can contribute to this? Mr. Gulati spoke very feelingly in this morning, and I echo his vision, that in all that you do, there is this requirement of what you might call a triangular approach. And there you have government at the apex, which is the facilitator, which is in some ways the regulator, but then private sector, now so warmly included in the development agenda, not just of the nation, but of the entire planet. I remember a little while ago, the buck stopped at government, period. Mr. Ajay Shankar and I have had a long history in the bureaucracy. Everything was, sarkar se kaam le, sarkar ke paas pahunche, sarkar ke darwaze khadkaएं. And that literally was what we were, the staple diet of development. Now so much has changed. Corporate India is at the heart of the development trajectory of this nation. I still remember working in the United Nations, where everything was about, let's connect with the government of India, the government of Serbia, the government of the USA, the government of Japan. Even the whole perspective of the United Nations was government, government, government. All that changed when the Millennium Development Goals came in, sustainable goals came in, and the United Nations reached out to the private sector to stand up and be counted and contribute to the development agenda of their nations. And I'll speak about this when I get another opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chatterjee, for highlighting the requirement of scalable innovations, replicable innovations in the rural sphere as well as urban sphere, of course. And of course, the triangular approach that he was talking about, we'll love to hear more from you, Dr. Chatterjee, as we move on. Now I'm inviting Dr. Tamal Sarkar Tamal has an extensive experience in MSME cluster development, and I've been associated with Tamal and his work for a long time now in SIDBI. I'm sure from a cluster perspective, of course, digitalization, financial inclusion, these are very important pieces of work. So your thoughts, please, on this.
Hello. Thank you, Anubaji, and respected Board of Trustees and past trustees and honorable guests and respected members on the dais. So my topic today is digitalization, because in the area of MSMEs. So the challenge of digitalization actually has come to the forefront much after the COVID, because COVID, with all its negatives, where we lost many of our near and dear ones, has actually opened up a new area in terms of the communication system. And three things, I think, which have basically been kindled out of this thing are: one is, of course, the communication, the way we communicate; the second is the financial aspects; and the third is the market aspect. Now, when we speak about market, that's the time when we actually come to this, the nano enterprises, which were spoken of by Mr. Acharya in the inaugural session, approximately 55 million of them. So this, since market has taken a lot of digital way now, there is a great potential as well as a threat in case you are digitally incapable of promoting market. So when we look at this, the capacities and the infrastructures which are required for easy access to promote markets digitally in the nano enterprise sector, I find there are three major challenges. So the first challenge is, of course, the basic infrastructure. That is digital bandwidth available across the country in the same way as it is available in the cities or the townships? The answer is, of course, no, because in many times when we go away from the main cities, we tell our friends not to call because we will not be available digitally. So that's a big challenge. So that's a macro challenge. The second challenge, of course, is in the type of the capacity of the people to connect with the language barrier of digitalization. So when we come to the language barrier, you see, most of the languages of market promotion is generally in English language. And even if sometimes it is available in Hindi language also, but that actually takes away a big chunk of the people who are digitally divided. So there is a big software issue here. How can we expect a micro enterprise, a weaver sitting in a remote area of Telangana or West Bengal or Tamil Nadu to become digitally linked to Amazon.com? It's simply a big challenge. It's simply not possible. So that's another challenge which I think is very looming large on us. And the third aspect, which I think is another area, which is, of course, another challenge, is the basic infrastructure. So if you want to get digitally connected, you need a smartphone. So when we did a quick survey of the various clusters, we found that approximately 30 to 40% have the smartphone access, and the smartphone access is higher where the clusters are much more dynamic or they are nearer the main townships areas or the areas. But if you go to the village areas, that actually fades away. So these are the three major challenges which I think is looming large on the digital divide, which is challenging the nano enterprises of the country. And of course, when I get the next chance, I will try to give certain answers to that. Thank you.
Thanks, Tamalji, for highlighting the digital divide that we have in the economy these days. because digitization has happened. However, there's a section of society which has been left behind. So making markets work for everyone, that should be high on our agenda. Also, democratizing the innovations. That's, I think, a very important piece of work. So I now turn to Vimal. Vimal, your work is majorly in, I've seen it is in sustainability, it's in technology, it's also in investing, right? So your thoughts on, a question which I wanted to ask was, of course, I'll give your time for your opening remarks, but now the question from you is that whenever we talk of social enterprises, I think you have a large body of work over there also. So enterprises, social enterprises, particularly from the standpoint of innovation, on that also I would like to hear your thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me here, and I'll talk about the first innovation and what government did. Mr. Chatterjee has spoke about that, and I want to start from there. So in 2008, PM Council of Economy and Trade created a mechanism to how to promote innovation in a country. That time, most of the funding was coming only from the government and going to the academia. There was no funding involved to the industry at all. Then we have created GITA, Global Innovation and Technology Alliance. The sequence was really right, where how to bring the private capital along with the government, holding the control to the private only. So GITA is a Global Innovation Technology Alliance created by the Department of Science and Technology along with the CII. Control was there with the private side. The funding was come from the government side. So this is how the mechanism we have created. And GITA has managed a lot of program, and the industry leaders are actually played a very big role. And I'm sorry to say that our beloved chairman, he recently died. That is one of the most shocking news for us. But coming to the innovation cycle, so for GITA started functioning around 2013. From there, if you see, the market forces started coming in. We are talking about bringing the innovation funding to the CSR, bringing the social enterprises, how to get the funding. The other funding body actually started involving Invest India or other organizations are actually doing that. And when you talk to the, especially to your question, Anubaji, that how to support the social entrepreneurs. So social entrepreneurs, they don't have access, they don't have a corporate affairs team to decode the government system. Each and every program of the government is different. The mandate is completely different. Maybe the same ministry, MSME, have the 30 program. All the 30 program have a different. So how to decode the application, how to decode the funding is the one of the challenge. And why I'm coming to the funding, innovation is what? Innovation is just doing everything. Ultimate aim is to make a marketable product. And this is the government has also realized, and that's why we are happy to say that the government is actually celebrating the 75 years of independence, and the innovation is the key component for this 25-year journey. In April, the PSA office has taken a big role for sensitizing all the ministry to go for the innovation. So innovation is going to be the key for next 25 years. And GI, some of the speakers said GI, so it actually has to improve, and not in the data terms, but in the terms of actual industry. And if we talk about the role of BMOs and clusters, it's a very important role. Government, they don't have a promotional budget for any schemes. You can actually decode all the processes, all the applications, what the need, and innovation only require funding. Capacity building funding, EO just SME, small entrepreneurs, which is only promoter driven. And when you have a promoter driven, you don't have expertise. So BMO can actually provide the expertise. Some demonstration center can play a good role. The cluster funding approach, which is the MSME ministry, DHI, and all ministries are actually providing, that can be one of the good center where the cluster people are coming, they are showcasing some of the technology, they're actually using those technologies and all. And of course, at the social enterprise level, like the associations, all the... I'm sorry for that. So एक एग्जांपल आपको लेता हूँ कि एसोसिएशन का क्या रोल हो सकता है. currently I'm managing a large program which is UK government funded program, modern energy cooking services. हमारा उसमें रोल ये है कि हम मॉडर्न एनर्जी बेस्ड कुकिंग को कैसे प्रमोट कर सकते हैं. इट्स ए कंप्लीट सोशल. एज इन कंट्री ऑल द कुकिंग डिवाइस कंपनी हमारे सारे सिर्फ एसएमईज है या मल्टीनेशनल्स है. इंडिया में कभी भी कुकिंग कंपनी को हमने प्रमोट नहीं किया. सो हाउ टू प्रमोट दैट, उसके लिए हमने उनको एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम इन क्लीन कुकिंग फर्स्ट टाइम इन नॉट इन इंडिया बट इन द वर्ल्ड लाया. हमने उन लोगों को, सारे लोगों को आइडेंटिफाई किया जिनके बहुत छोटे छोटे टर्नओवर थे, 1 crore 50 lakhs, इवन दे आर स्टार्टिंग अप 10 crores एंड ऑल. उनको हमने एक मेन फ्रेम बिजनेसेस में ले किया है. और मेन फ्रेम बिजनेसेस में हमने EESL के साथ टाई अप किया. सो EESL कैन एक्चुअली स्टार्ट प्रोक्योरिंग फ्रॉम देम, एटलीस्ट दे हैव द एज विद द लार्ज प्लेयर. आपका एसोसिएशन का रोल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट वहाँ पे हो जाता है, क्योंकि कोई भी गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स इनोवेशन लेके आती है और CSR स्कीम्स डायरेक्टली स्टार्टअप्स के पास और कंपनी के पास नहीं पहुंच सकता है. सो द रोल ऑफ BMO इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. द लास्ट पॉइंट विच आई वांट टू मेंशन, लाइक गवर्नमेंट हैज ट्राइड अ लॉट. MIT also tried with the German government. Our German colleagues are here. During my time, you have a Fraunhofer. You have almost 35 Fraunhofers. We don't have such centers in India which actually thinking from the industry perspective. तो हमारे पास जितने भी R&D centers हैं वो बहुत बड़े इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए सुटेबल हैं, बट स्टार्टअप और SME के लिए, स्टार्टअप के लिए भी सुटेबल है, स्पिन ऑफ के लिए परफेक्ट है. आई थिंक वी शुड कॉल देम ए स्पिन ऑफ दैट देन स्टार्टअप्स. जो आप जैसे बिजनेसेस, स्पेशली द BMOs लेवल बिजनेसेस, उनके लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि गवर्नमेंट शुड प्रमोट demonstration center, the way Fraunhofer said, and the CEDAC and Samir, if you know that MIT has promoted these research centers, we wanted to convert these two as the Fraunhofer of India. So these kind of initiatives are very much required, and the BMO cluster can play a vital role. I hope I answered also, I put my point. Thank you.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया विमल जी. और जी मैं कुछ हाथ देख रही हूँ उठे हुए, अगर कोई सवाल है तो कृपया. जी मैडम प्लीज. और क्या हम इसके बाद सवाल पे जाएं या अभी? लेट अस टेक ऑडियंस क्वेश्चंस. लेट अस टेक ऑडियंस क्वेश्चंस. जी
थैंक यू अनुभा जी.
प्लीज मेंशन करिएगा किन स्पीकर से आपका सवाल है.
या एक्चुअली माय क्वेश्चन इज दैट एनीबडी कैन आंसर हु कैन आंसर. सो अनुभा जी, आई एम फ्रॉम कन्फेडरेशन ऑफ वुमेन एंटरप्रेन्योर ऑफ इंडिया. We have 11 states where branches are there. So recently I had attended one meeting at NIRD in Hyderabad. It is related to the rural development for the livelihood. The seminar was based. So 2 key questions were there, but there was no answer to it. Basically it was in the rural area, they have expertise in their product, but packaging they fail. And the urbans, they ask for the good packaging, they don't see that what is inside, so there they fail miserably. That is, innovation is required in that particular field at the economical cost, because these people have, micro level, they can't spend so much, but here CSR also can help to get them into proper packaging which is attractive, and they are able to sell. Another issue is that in the remote areas, in the urban we have all these courier services, but in remote areas, this is again a very big question, that if I ask for something, we have created a platform, a virtual platform where a lot of women are there on board, but the only thing, the drawback is, when we place order, it comes very late, and in urban area, when Amazon kind of a place is available, marketplace, people don't wait that long. So this transportation, they again fail miserably.
थैंक यू मैडम. आई गॉट योर क्वेश्चंस. आपने आपका जो पहला सवाल था वो पैकेजिंग रिलेटेड है. जो दिखता है वो बिकता है, और महिलाओं को शायद उतनी जानकारी नहीं है, इतना वेयरविदॉल नहीं है.
थोड़ी जानकारी है
जी. और दूसरा जो आपका सवाल जी, एंड दूसरा जो सवाल है कि ट्रांसपोर्टेशन की समस्या है, लॉजिस्टिक्स की समस्या है. तो जैसे अमेज़ॉन अभी मेरे ख्याल से 18,000 पिन कोड्स को सर्व कर रहा है इन इंडिया में, एंड डिलीवरी मेरे ख्याल से दे हैव रीच टू मोर देन 50,000 से ज़्यादा पिन कोड्स को सर्व कर रहा है. तो तमिल जी मैं आपसे पूछूंगी, एंड मैं डॉक्टर चैटर्जी से भी, यस डॉक्टर चैटर्जी से भी CSR वाले पॉइंट पर मैं आती हूँ आपके पास.
This point about packaging is extremely important, and I thought I'd express it in a few words. When we work with self-help groups, and हाँ जी, मैं हिंदी में भी बोलूँगा. जब हम लोग SHG ग्रुप्स के साथ काम करते हैं और उनके जो प्रोडक्ट्स, इसमें दो चीज़ें हैं. एक तो प्रोडक्ट बनाना, वो प्रोडक्ट बनाना जो सेलेबल है, जिसकी बिक्री हम कर सकते हैं. अगर प्रोडक्ट ही नहीं है तो पैकेजिंग आप 1000 भी कर लो तो कभी बिकेगा नहीं. बट प्रोडक्ट विदाउट पैकेजिंग, उसकी भी कोई जान नहीं है. तो हमारी तरफ से, जैसे हिंदुस्तान जिंक लिमिटेड में हो, SHGs में हो, कैन ऑयल एंड नेचुरल गैस में हो, जितनी हमारी CSR का बजट है, जो हम वुमेन्स एम्पावरमेंट और ये अपने एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन स्कीम में लगाते हैं, उसमें हमने पैकेजिंग का एक स्पेशल प्रोपोर्शन रखा हुआ है. इसमें हमने पैकेजिंग के कुछ स्पेशलिस्ट्स भी रखे हुए हैं जो SHGs को एडवाइस भी करते हैं और उसको डेमो भी देते हैं. अब देखिए होता क्या है कि इंसान हमेशा प्रोडक्ट तो बना लेता है, लेकिन पैकेजिंग का जो एक्स्ट्रा कॉस्ट है वो देने से घबराता है, क्योंकि दैट एड्स अ सर्टेन प्रोपोर्शन ऑफ कॉस्ट टू द प्रोडक्ट एंड रिड्यूसेस द प्रॉफिट. तो वहां पे अनलेस द CSR पार्ट कम्स इन, it becomes very difficult, and those who do CSR must understand that very well. अगर हमको वो उसके बारे में हम कोई चिंतन ही ना करें, प्रोडक्ट एज इट इज को हम सिर्फ काउंटर पर रख दें, लोग आएंगे ले जाएंगे, वो बात नहीं बनती. तो कई सारे प्राइवेट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं जो इस वक्त इस काम में लगे हुए हैं और इन पे वो खास ध्यान दे रहे हैं. तो अगर आगे भी कोई मदद आपको चाहिए तो आप मुझसे संपर्क करें, मैं कोशिश करूंगा आपको जानकारी देने के लिए. दूसरा जो सवाल था वो आप लॉजिस्टिक्स का बताएंगे.
देखिए, लॉजिस्टिक्स का जो इशू है वहाँ पे ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल रोल बहुत बढ़ जाता है. तो अगर आप अकेला कोई लॉजिस्टिक्स में जाना चाहेंगे तो इट्स वेरी कॉस्टली. तो आपको बेसिकली एक एसोसिएशन या ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के थ्रू आपको आगे जाना पड़ेगा. तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का मतलब फिर वो BMO का रोल आ जाता है या लोकल. अब BMO जो है सिर्फ इंडस्ट्री एसोसिएशन नहीं है. BMO कैन बी लोकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ आर्टिसंस ऑल्सो. तो अगर ऐसे कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वहाँ पे आ जाता है, एंड देन आई थिंक वहाँ पे अप्रोप्रिएट ट्रेनिंग का भी बहुत ज़रूरत है, प्रोफेशनल ट्रेनिंग का. और इसमें मैं आपके बातों से मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि स्कोप है, एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन का भी काफ़ी स्कोप है इन दैट पर्टिकुलर एरिया. तो प्रोफेशनलिज्म और के थ्रू ये चीज़ों को हमें लेके जाना पड़ेगा और एग्रीगेशन के थ्रू. तो ये दोनों रास्ता हमारे सामने खुला है.
धन्यवाद तमिल जी. और मैं ज़रा सा इसमें ऐड करना चाहूँगी कि बहुत सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, इंक्लूडिंग सिडबी. हम लोग भी विमेन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप पे बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम्स करते हैं और बहुत सारी ग्रांट्स की भी स्कीम है. तो अगर आपका प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट वेल डिफाइंड है, अगर क्लियर है कि आप इस चीज़ पे काम करना चाहते हैं एंड दिस इज़ वेयर यू वांट टू रीच, ये आपके आउटपुट होंगे, तो जो सही ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है आप वहाँ पहुँचें तो आपको मेरे ख्याल से डेफिनेटली इसमें मदद मिलेगी. बहुत सारी संस्थाएं विमेन एम्पावरमेंट के लिए भी काम कर रही हैं, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के लिए भी कर रही हैं. सो मैं विमल की तरफ मुड़ रही हूँ एक बार फिर से. एंड विमल, थैंक्स फॉर गिविंग अस द सेकंड गीता. एक तो शायद कुरुक्षेत्र में भगवान ने दी थी आपको, आपने दूसरी गीता दी हमें. थैंक यू सो मच. सो मैं थोड़ा सा आपसे ये पूछना चाहती हूँ कि जो सोशल एंटरप्राइजेस होते हैं उनमें आपने कहा कि एक्सेस टू फाइनेंस का चैलेंज है, एंड दैट इज वाई, बिकॉज वन रीजन इज दैट वेन एवर एन इन्वेस्टर इज इन्वेस्टिंग, ही और शी, जो भी आदमी इन्वेस्ट करता है वो एक रिटर्न एक्सपेक्टेशन लेके आता है कि हमें ये फाइनेंशियल ROIs मिलेंगी. लेकिन सोशल एंटरप्राइजेज में कई बार वो हम यूनिकॉर्न ग्रोथ स्टोरी देखते हैं कि पिछले साल 21 में 50 यूनिकॉर्न निकल गए, एंड सबका एक्सपेक्टेशन वही होता है. तो इस तरह के माहौल में आप सोशल एंटरप्राइजेज में एक्सेस टू फाइनेंस को कैसे हम प्रमोट कर सकते हैं?
सो अनुपा जी, मैं अपने पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस से जानना चाहता हूँ। मैं यूको बैंक में बैंक पीओ था, तो हमारा यूको बैंक में जब हम लेंडिंग करते थे तो हमारे को बहुत क्लियर था कि इफ़ द इंडस्ट्रीज फॉर लास्ट 30 इयर्स और 10 इयर्स 20 इयर्स हमें उसको सपोर्ट करना है, उसका बिजनेस साइकिल जो भी जाएगा हम उसको सपोर्ट करते थे। देन आई मूव टू टाटा कैपिटल, इट्स NBFC। जब NBFC में गया तो प्राइवेट है, हमें ये समझ में आया कि एक्सेस वहाँ हमें प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी चाहिए। वी कांट बी जस्ट सेइंग कि 20 ईयर्स से हमारा अकाउंट है, आई कांट मूव। हम CC अकाउंट को हमेशा बोलते हैं डाइवोर्सलेस मैरिज। सो हम कभी भी ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है कि अगर हम 30 ईयर्स से अकाउंट्स में हैं तो वहाँ जाएंगे। देन आई जॉइन गीता एंड फिनोविस्ता। वहाँ पे क्या हुआ है कि हमारे पास पास्ट का कुछ भी डेटा नहीं है। हम बैंकर्स पूरा डेटा एनालिसिस करते हैं। वी आर वेरी वेरी हैप्पी टू एनालाइज, राइट 20 पेज 30 पेज रिपोर्ट, 100 पेज रिपोर्ट, 1 पेज टू द बोर्ड एंड हैप्पी। गीता में हमारे पास या फिनोविस्ता में हमारे पास कुछ भी पास डेटा नहीं, कीप कंप्लीटली फॉरगेट अबाउट द फाइनेंस एंड हम सिर्फ इनोवेशंस की बात करते हैं। एंड व्हेन टॉक अबाउट इनोवेशन, सोशल एंटरप्राइजेस के लिए बहुत जरूरी है कि व्हाट इनोवेशंस वी वांट टू डू, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ सपोर्ट। रिसेंटली FMC हैज अपॉइंटेड अस टू मैनेज नेशनल बैम्बू इनोवेशन चैलेंज, विच सिटी वाज आल्सो पार्ट ऑफ दैट। हमने जब बैम्बू सेक्टर को देखा तो बैम्बू के जो चैलेंजेस है, आर्टिजन्स भी हैं, हाई लेवल स्टार्टअप्स भी हैं, एक राइट कॉर्ड कैसे बैलेंस करना है। कभी बैम्बू सेक्टर को एक गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से डेडिकेटेड ग्रांट नहीं मिला। हमने क्या देखा कि कभी भी आप एग्रीकल्चर में डाल देते हैं उसको, कभी भी बड़े सेक्टर में डाल देते हैं, बैम्बू नेवर बिकम अ शो स्टॉपर। तो हमें छोटे छोटे सेक्टर्स को आइडेंटिफाई करने चाहिए, उसमें हमें उन स्टार्टअप्स को या जो आर्टिजन्स लेवल पे हैं या SME लेवल पे हैं कैसे इनवाइट करना है। कमिंग टू द वाई आई हैव गिवन एग्जांपल ऑफ मेरा बैंकिंग करियर। देखिए, गवर्नमेंट बैंक होगा वो आपको रिस्क लेने को तैयार है। अगर इफ यू हैव अ कोलैटरल, इवन यू डोंट हैव अ कोलैटरल, CGT CMS स्कीम के थ्रू आपको मिल जाएगा। प्राइवेट सेक्टर बैंक को आपसे इंश्योर करेगा कि रिकवरी हो जाए, सो इट मीन्स कि आपका बिजनेस मॉडल बहुत स्ट्रांग होना चाहिए। नाउ कमिंग टू द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, द फंड, VC फंड एंड ऑल। VC फंड आपको पेशेंस कैपिटल होता है। अगर आपके सोशल एंटरप्राइजेस हैं वो 8 या 9 IRR तो एक्सपेक्ट करते ही करते हैं, उतना उनको लेके आना ही है, बिकॉज दे हैव टू गिव बैक टू द इन्वेस्टर। इन्वेस्टर बी द बैंक और इन्वेस्टर कैन बी इंडिविजुअल। सो वहाँ पे उनका बहुत क्लियर कट है। तो यू शुड बी नोइंग कि मैं अगर आज बैंक में जा रहा हूँ, NBFC में जा रहा हूँ और फंड में जा रहा हूँ, मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट्स हम हमेशा भूल जाते हैं। गवर्नमेंट हमारे पास बहुत बड़ा सपोर्ट है। गवर्नमेंट ने अभी तक बहुत डेडिकेटेड अप्रोच नहीं रखा है टू हाउ टू सपोर्ट, एंड थैंक्स टू लास्ट 4 और 5 ईयर्स स्टार्टअप में हमने वो करना शुरू किया है। एवरी मिनिस्ट्री, एवरी फंडिंग इज एक्चुअली कमिंग टू दैट। अभी DOT को मैंने पूरा एडवाइस किया फॉर लॉन्चिंग दिस R&D फंडिंग स्कीम अंडर द चैंपियन सर्विसेज एंड द दिस यूज ऑफ फंड। उसमें हमने क्लियर कट उनको समझाया कि अगर आपके IT ड्रिवन बिजनेसेस है, लेट्स VC फंड, VC will be happily get ROI into that, but manufacturing हम स्क्रू ड्राइवर इकोनॉमी लाइफ टाइम नहीं बन सकते हैं। दिस ऑल्सो गोज टू द सोशल एंटरप्राइज। अगर हमें स्क्रू ड्राइवर इकोनॉमी बनाना है तो पैनासोनिक, फिलिप्स इज रेडी टू टेक द मार्केट। अगर आपको इंडियन मैन्युफैक्चरर को बनाना है तो आज से आपको मैन्युफैक्चरर्स को ग्रांट देना होगा। इनोवेशन विदाउट ग्रांट इज नॉट पॉसिबल एट ऑल। रिस्क बहुत ज़्यादा है, तो वो रिस्क को कैसे सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं। सोशल एंटरप्राइज रिस्क, गवर्नमेंट के पैसे को कैसे हम यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं ना प्रॉपर वे। हमने वही चीज़ फिनोविस्ता में सॉल्व करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। वी आर गोइंग टू द डिफरेंट एजेंसी, डिफरेंट मिनिस्ट्री। आप छोटे छोटे सेक्टर्स हमें दीजिए। हमने बैम्बू के ऊपर काम किया, क्लीन कुकिंग के ऊपर काम किया, हमने खुद हैंडीक्राफ्ट के ऊपर काम करके देखा है कि आपके जो चैलेंजेस है, व्हाट इज द चैलेंजेस। हैंडीक्राफ्ट में हमारा सबसे बड़ा एक इशू हमेशा नजर आता है कि जब हम आर्टिजन्स होते हैं, बनाते हैं, तो हम वो बनाते हैं जो हमें अच्छा लगता है। कभी भी हमने सोचा है कि अगर कोई 200 रुपये मेरे को दे रहा है, उसकी 200 रुपये की वर्थ है, 10 रुपीज़ दे रहा है, उसकी 10 रुपीज़ की वर्थ है, कोई 5000 रुपीज़ दे रहा हो, 5000 की वर्थ है। तो अगर हम प्रोडक्ट को देखें, उसकी प्राइसिंग को समझें, प्राइसिंग अगर हमें समझ में आता है कि एंड कंज्यूमर कितना पे कर सकता है और मैं कितना चार्ज कर सकता हूँ, दैट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट। जो आज हैंडीक्राफ्ट का जो सामान बिकते हैं, वो आई नो अ कंपनी फ्रॉम इंदौर हु सेल्स द सिमिलर प्रोडक्ट 1500 अ डे। 1500 पीस वो इंदौर में बैठ करके बेचता है, और वही आपके ऑर्गेनाइजर्स छोटे छोटे सामान जो हैंडीक्राफ्ट के सामान है। तो if you have a dedicated approach to that, and same goes for the technology which is coming from the एकेडमिया, अगर एकेडमिया की टेक्नोलॉजी है, मे बी द कॉस्ट ऑफ डेवलपमेंट इज वेरी वेरी इन करोर्स एंड ऑल, बट एक्चुअल वर्थ क्या है आज की डेट में? सो सोशल एंटरप्राइजेस के लिए आई सजेस्ट एज अ मैन्युफैक्चरर कि गवर्नमेंट को थोड़े मोड़े पैसे देने चाहिए इन टू सपोर्ट. एवरीबडी कांट गेट, बट एटलीस्ट द पीपल हु आर गेटिंग, one person getting grant will motivate the entire BMO.
थैंक यू विमल जी. और जी मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि इस डेलिब्रेशन से जो निकल के जो आएंगे, जो रिकमेंडेशंस जो निकल करके आएंगे, तो उसको डॉक्यूमेंट करके हम उसको लॉजिकल कंक्लूजन पे ले जाने की कोशिश भी करेंगे. सो थैंक्स अगेन. इट इज मेकिंग मार्केट वर्क्स फॉर सोशल एंटरप्राइजेस, हाउ टू डू दैट. सो थैंक यू सो मच. सो आई टर्न टू मनीषा नाउ. मैं मनीषा से पूछ रही हूँ, मनीषा आपने जहाँ बात छोड़ी थी और जो एक बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट आपने रेज किया था कि वाई नॉट इनक्यूबेटर्स फॉर एमएसएमई. एमएसएमई में इनोवेशन क्यों नहीं हो सकता है? वाई इट इज़ ओनली अबाउट स्टार्टअप्स. सो एमएसएमईज अभी जो वैल्यू चेन है, जो ग्रोथ जर्नी है, उसमें इनोवेशन को छोड़ के तो आगे नहीं बढ़ सकती हैं. तो आपको क्या लगता है वे फॉरवर्ड क्या होना चाहिए फॉर एमएसएमईज इन टर्म्स ऑफ इनोवेशन?
थैंक यू. सो देखिए, जैसे एमएसएमई का, जैसे स्टार्टअप को इनोवेशन चाहिए, एमएसएमई को भी इनोवेशन चाहिए. यही मैं पहले भी बोली थी. सो अभी जैसे मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एमएसएमई के अंडर भी रूरल इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर, रूरल लाइवलीहुड इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर उन लोग कर रहे हैं. इवन डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, इन लोग को भी टियर 2, टियर 3 सिटी में इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर्स एस्टेब्लिश करने के लिए जोर दे रहे हैं. इवन अभी अटल इनोवेशन मिशन, उन लोग भी कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जैसे टियर 2, टियर 3 सिटी में ये इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर हो. अनदर थिंग जो मैं यहाँ पर, जब डॉक्टर अनुभा जी ने बोले कि हम आगे लेना चाहते हैं, तो एक चीज़ मैं हमेशा सोचती हूँ कि क्यों नहीं इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर, 1 डिस्ट्रिक्ट 1 इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर. तो हमारे जो रूरल पीपल हैं उन लोग को ये चीज़ जरूर पहुँचेगा. इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर खाली स्टार्टअप के लिए नहीं है, कि डीप स्टेक स्टार्टअप के लिए नहीं है. इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर सभी के लिए है. जो भी नया आइडिया ले रहा है, ये एमएसएमई हो चाहे स्टार्टअप हो, सबके लिए चाहिए. यहाँ पर मेरा अपना एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, वी हैव सेट अप वन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन दैट इज विनर्स फोरम, जो कि वुमेन स्टार्टअप बोलिए या मतलब माइक्रो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स बोलिए, यहाँ पर हम लोग सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं पूरा माइक्रो एंटरप्रेन्योर से डीप टेक स्टार्टअप से. अभी रिसेंटली एक बिहार का एक औरंगाबाद बोल के जगह है, जहाँ पर 67 माइक्रो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं, वुमेन माइक्रो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, जिन लोग छोटे छोटे उन लोगों का डिफरेंट आर्टिफैक्ट्स, डिफरेंट चीज़ें बनाते हैं. उन लोगों को हम लोग गाइड कर रहे हैं कि उनका कैसे अच्छे पैकेजिंग हो. जो मैडम ने एक को क्वेश्चन रेज किए थे कि पैकेजिंग कैसे होना चाहिए, तो हम उनको एक एक्सेलरेशन प्रोग्राम के माध्यम में हम उनको गाइड कर रहे हैं कि किस तरह से अच्छे से पैकेजिंग कर पाए. तो उनको अच्छे पैकेजिंग करने से कैसे उनका प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में जाए. इवन उन लोगों को हेल्प कर रहे हैं कि ऑनलाइन कैसे उन लोग मार्केट करें प्रोडक्ट. तो हमारे जैसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और भी काफ़ी सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैं जो कि हेल्प कर रहे हैं, जो कि इस तरह के स्टार्टअप बोलिए या माइक्रो एंटरप्रेन्योर बोलिए. तो यहाँ पर ये मैं बोलना चाहती हूँ कि आप देखिए, अगर कोई एस्टैब्लिश्ड मतलब एसएमईज हैं, दे कैन कोलैबोरेट विद द इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर. वहाँ पर उन लोग स्टार्टअप के साथ भी कोलैबोरेट कर सकते हैं टू गेट देयर ऑन इनोवेशंस लेके, उनके तरफ से इनोवेशन लेके अपना मार्केट में यूज कर सकते हैं. ये एक तो कोलैबोरेशन हो सकता है. इवन yes.
So we can align with you guys in a synchronization. Like one example, sir, I just want to give you, it happens with me only.
So, thank you. I think it's a very useful information. So we'll touch base one-on-one regarding this, so that we at SIDBI also would like to be benefited with this. Thank you. Thanks Manisha. Thanks very much for highlighting very important points. मैं आखिरी सवाल मैं भास्कर जी से पूछ रही हूँ, और ऑडियंस क्वेश्चंस का हमारे पास ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं है, लेकिन आई थिंक ये बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट एक सवाल ये है कि we talk a lot about social enterprises, impact investment, rural investments, innovation. तो डॉक्टर चैटर्जी थोड़ा सा मुझे बताएं कि हम impact investment की बात करते हैं, इसमें हम tangible impact measurement कैसे कर सकते हैं? A few pointers on how to measure impact very very tangibly.
आप ठीक कह रही हैं कि स्कीम्स बहुत हैं और CSR के प्रोजेक्ट्स भी बहुत सारे हैं. विश्वास कीजिए, हर एक साल अगर हम सारी ऑलमोस्ट 17,000 कंपनियां आज के दिन में CSR कर रहे हैं और हर साल 22,000 करोड़ का इन्वेस्टमेंट प्राइवेट सेक्टर से CSR में हो रहा है, तो अगर 17,000 कंपनियां 22,000 करोड़ रुपए अगर खर्च कर रहे हैं तो ये पैसा कहाँ जा रहा है? और मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स से आज के दिन जो लास्ट इनका सर्कुलर निकला है जनवरी 22 का 2021, उसमें ये कहा गया है कि हर एक प्रोजेक्ट whose worth is 1 crore or more must be third party assessed. सबसे पहली बात ये है कि CSR का जो इकोसिस्टम है वो एक ऑब्सेशन की तरह था कि हम काम करें, हम ही उसे असेस करें, हम ही अपना बैक पैटिंग करें और ऐसे जैसे हमारे फोरम हैं अपनी बातें बोलें। अब अपना पीठ थपाना तो ठीक है, वो आप करते जाएं, लेकिन एक्चुअली हो क्या रहा है? सो थर्ड पार्टी असेसमेंट का जो महत्व है वो आज के दिन सिर्फ एक चाहिदा वाली बात नहीं है, आपने करना ही है। नंबर 2, टेक्निक्स और टूल्स क्या है? अब ये कहना बड़ा आसान है कि भैया सोशल इंपैक्ट आप मेजर कर लो। अब कैसे करें, इसके टूल्स क्या हैं? 3-4 साल 5 साल पहले ये टूल्स जो हैं इनके विषय में कोई खास चिंतन हमने किया नहीं, लेकिन आज के दिन SROI टाइप के जो मॉडल्स हैं, we are now sharpening those instruments to suit specific sectors. Like अगर हेल्थ सेक्टर का इम्पैक्ट करना है, एजुकेशन सेक्टर का इम्पैक्ट करना है, एम्प्लॉयमेंट का करना है, तो it can't be that one hat for all everything. So we are now actually in the task of going sector wise, using tools and also find which tool is best for which sector. So that development process has also taken place. But people who work in single companies don't get to see that, because I see the overarching picture. I can say a lot of work is happening there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chatterjee, for highlighting the need for neutral third-party assessment. And that is where the difference between CSR and philanthropy also lies. So thank you so much, all my panelists, for such an animated discussion. इतना अच्छा, इतना vibrant discussion हुआ. तो एज एन नेक्स्ट स्टेप मैं FMC से गुजारिश करूंगी, दरख्वास्त करूंगी कि इसको डॉक्यूमेंट करके बहुत अच्छे पॉलिसी रिकमेंडेशंस बना करके जो भी रेलेवेंट स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं वहाँ पे पहुँचाने का काम हम करें आगे इसके। और बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। BMO अवार्ड इज़ एन आइडिया हुज टाइम हैज़ कम, रिस्पॉन्सिबल BMO, सो मेनी कंग्रेचुलेशंस ऑन दैट। थैंक यू सो मच द ऑडियंस फॉर गिविंग अस अ वेरी पेशेंट ईयर। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, Anubha ji. Thank you so much, Anubha ma'am. Just a second. I would request, just a second, ma'am. Please. The first thing, सबसे पहली बात, मैं अभी तक की बोली हुई अपनी अंग्रेजी के लिए आप सबसे माफ़ी मांगता हूँ और मैं कोशिश करूँगा कि इसके आगे मैं थोड़ा मिश्रित भाषा का प्रयोग करूँ। पर मुझसे मेरी दिक्कत ये है कि मैं तैयारी अंग्रेजी में ही करके आया हूँ तो मुझे माफ़ कीजिएगा अगर कोई गलती हो तो। अब मैं अनुभा प्रसाद जी से रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा कि वे मनीषा आचार्य जी को एक मोमेंटो देके और सम्मानित करें। Now I request Dr. Tamal Sarkar ji to present a memento to Dr. Bhaskar Chatterjee. Now I request Dr. Anubha Prasad ji to present a memento to Dr. Tamal Sarkar ji. अब मैं तमल सरकार जी से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि वे श्री विमल कुमार जी को एक मेमेंटो देके और सम्मानित करें। And now I request Mr. Iqbal Ahmed to present a memento to Shri Vimal Kumar ji. I'm sorry, I am really sorry to Ms. Anubha, yeah, to Anubha Prasad ji. Now I request all the dignitaries for a group photograph. Thank you. Is it done? Thank you. So this is the end of our second session. अब हम एक चाय और एक कॉफ़ी का ब्रेक लेंगे. मैं आप सबसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि आप प्लीज़ 11:50 तक अपनी कॉफ़ी और चाय लेके अंदर आ जाएं ताकि हम अपना अगला सेशन शुरू कर सकें. 11:50. Is it all? क्योंकि 11:50 ऑलरेडी हो चुके हैं तो मैं आप सबको रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि आप 12 बजे तक आ जाएं. थैंक यू. I once again request all the attendees to kindly come back in the hall so that we can start with the session. सर मुझे अच्छा
उनको बोलने के लिए बोलना है ना, तो मैं वो करके बोल दूँगा।
ठीक है यू वांट हिज बायो अभी मैं बीबी स्वेन जी को इंट्रोडक्शन करने के बाद
सब कर लीजिए। कुमार साहब मुझे दे
नहीं देना था सबको लैंप लाइन करा के देन अजय शंकर जी को फैसिलिटेट करने बोलूँगा बीबी स्वेन जी को।
जैसे करना है
देन मुझे इसमें
मैं सिर्फ पता क्या करूँगा, आई नाउ रिक्वेस्ट डॉक्टर
नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम सर, क्योंकि आपको वेलकम एड्रेस देना ही है आपके बाद HP कुमार जी। तो आप ये कह रहे हैं कि आपका वेलकम एड्रेस से पहले HP कुमार जी को बुलाना है? ठीक है
बोल दीजिए कि अब मैं उनको इनवाइट कर दूँगा कि आप आइए।
ठीक है
तो मैं अपना वेलकम एड्रेस बात करूँगा, मैं अपने बोल दूँगा।
ठीक है
आपको कुछ नहीं करना, आप मेरे को बुला लेना चाहिए एज पर।
ठीक है I request all the attendees to kindly come in the hall and settle down as we're about to begin. Good afternoon again. Moving to our third session, that is the inaugural address and felicitation of award to finalist BMOs by our Honorable Secretary, Shri B.B. Swain, Ministry of MSME, Government of India. I would like to invite Shri B.B. Swain ji, Honorable Secretary, Ministry of MSME, Government of India. Shri B.B. Swain ji assumed charge as Secretary, Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises in January 2021. Prior to this, Shri Swain ji was serving as Special Secretary in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Shri Swain is a 1988 batch IS officer of Gujarat cadre. In June 2022 in New Delhi, he transformed an MSME program called Udyam Sakhi, an exclusive portal and a unique platform for providing adequate opportunities for women entrepreneurs across aspirational districts. We request Mr. B.B. Swain to kindly come on the dais, and we welcome you, sir. We welcome you, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. H.P. Kumar, Jury Member, BMO Award. Dr. Kumar is the former chairman cum managing director of National Small Industries Corporation, a mini Ratna public sector organization of Government of India. He held senior positions of corporate head of finance and CEO and of public sector corporations. He also held foreign assignment with African countries. Dr. Kumar has a long experience of dealing with promotion, development and financing of industries, export, and other small and large projects. He has been a member of National Small Business Advisory Council of South Africa, appointed by the Government of South Africa. We welcome you, sir. And now, I would like to invite Shri Ajay Shankarji, Chairperson, Foundation for MSME Clusters. We welcome you again, sir. Thank you so much. I welcome once again Shri Mukesh Gulati, Executive Director, Foundation for MSME Clusters, at the dais. As a remembrance to Dr. Y.K. Alag, I would request, can we please start the video? Dr. Y.K. Alag, sir. He passed away on 6 December 2022 at his residence in Ahmedabad. As most of you are aware, he donned many hats, including former Union Ministry, agricultural economist, member of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji's Advisory Committee on celebrating the 75th year of Indian independence. Professor Alag had been the chairperson of IRMA from 2006 to 2012. He was the Chancellor of Central University of Gujarat, Gandhinagar, and Vice Chairman of Sardar Patel Institute of Economic and Social Research, Ahmedabad. He had also been the founder, trustee, and chairperson of Foundation for MSME Clusters. Now I request Mr. Mukesh Gulati, Executive Director, Foundation for MSME Clusters, for his welcome address.
I want to welcome Mr. B.B. Swine, who's the Secretary MSME, for his kind presence. Our chairperson, Mr. Ajay Shankar, and Dr. H.P. Kumar. But because Dr. H.P. Kumar has to leave, उनको अभी flight पकड़नी है, तो मैं request करूँगा Dr. H.P. Kumar से कि वो on behalf of the jury, जिन्होंने ये सब awards का presentation सुना और उनसे उनका फाइनलाइजेशन किया, चेयरपर्सन मिस्टर एस के टुटेजा के बिहाफ पे डॉक्टर एच.पी. कुमार, हु इज़ आल्सो द जूरी मेंबर, आपसे मैं निवेदन करूंगा कि आप अपने ओपनिंग रिमार्क्स दें, मैं आपके बाद बोलूँगा. डॉक्टर कुमार, प्लीज. आई विल कम आफ्टर यू. यस, थैंक यू.
Respected Shri B.B. Swain, Secretary, Government of India, Ministry of MSME. Respected Shri Ajay Shankar ji, former Secretary, DIPP, Government of India, and the Chairperson of FMC. Shri Mukesh Gulati, Executive Director, Foundation for MSME Clusters. Dr. Tamal Sarkar, and we have Dr. Clean, in fact, he was there in the morning session. There are other distinguished guests and the very distinguished representatives of BMOs. In fact, this program is basically to recognize and award BMOs. मुझे कहा गया है कि हिंदी में ज़्यादा बोला जाए, तो मैं हिंदी में ही बोलूँगा आप लोगों के बेनिफिट के लिए। BMO अवार्ड्स में मैं जूरी में था और जूरी के चेयरपर्सन श्री S.K. टुटेजा जी थे। ये जो मेरी जगह एक्चुअली उनको होना चाहिए था, क्योंकि वो ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं, इसलिए उन्होंने मुझे एडवाइस किया कि आप जूरी के कार्य के बारे में और इस अवार्ड्स के बारे में किस तरह की प्रोसेस को फॉलो किया गया और कौन से अवार्ड्स हैं, इसके बारे में मैं आपको ब्रीफ कर दूं। तो मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि मैं कई जूरीज़ में रहा हूँ, अवार्ड की कई अवार्ड फंक्शन भी होते रहते हैं, परंतु मैं बड़ी खुशी के साथ आपको बता दूं कि इस जूरी में रह के मुझे बहुत प्रसन्नता हुई। उसके कुछ कारण हैं। एक तो ये कि ये जूरी का जो कार्य था, हम 2 दिन तक अवार्ड्स के लिए मेहनत करते रहे और इसमें जो पार्टिसिपेशन था बहुत ही अच्छा था। 150 BMOs ने पार्टिसिपेट किया, जिसमें लगभग, if I am not wrong, 32 were shortlisted after the first evaluation, और वो evaluation भी बहुत ही माइन्यूटली किया गया एक कंसल्टेंट्स की सहायता से, और उन 32 में से 15 को फाइनली शॉर्टलिस्ट करके और प्रेजेंटेशंस के लिए बुलाया गया था। उन 15 के ऊपर हम लोगों ने 2 दिन लगाए उनको अच्छी तरह से इवैल्यूएट करने में, उनके प्रेजेंटेशंस लिए। तो ये तो हो गई प्रोसेस की बात। तो इसके लिए मैं एक्चुअली FMC सेक्रेटेरिएट को कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट करना चाहूँगा, जिन्होंने बहुत ही मेटिकुलसली इसको प्लान किया और अच्छी तरह से इसको पूरी तरह से कैरी फॉरवर्ड किया। मुकेश गुलाटी जी को और उनकी पूरी टीम को मेरी जूरी की तरफ से, मेरी ओर से बहुत बहुत बधाई और हार्टीएस्ट कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस। तो इसके अलावा 2 चीज़ें मैंने नोटिस की जो मैं आपकी संज्ञान में लाना चाहूँगा। वो ये कि एक तो इसका जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है रिस्पॉन्सिबल BMOs, तो हमने देखा कि BMOs में बहुत छोटे छोटे ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस भी आए, एसोसिएशंस भी आए, बहुत रिमोट एरिया से भी आए। तो एक तो उनका इम्पैक्ट क्या रहा सोसाइटी के ऊपर, उन्होंने किस तरह से अपने मेंबर्स को बेनिफिट पहुंचाए, किस तरह से उन्होंने सारी सुविधाएं जो रॉ मटेरियल है, बैंकिंग फैसिलिटीज़ हैं, मार्केटिंग सपोर्ट फैसिलिटीज़ हैं, इनको किस तरह से जुटाया। एक्चुअली मैं जब BMOs की बात करता हूँ और उनका जो प्रेजेंटेशन मेरे बैक ऑफ द माइंड पे आता है, तो मुझे आज का जो ODOP प्रोग्राम चालू हुआ है, 1 डिस्ट्रिक्ट 1 प्रोडक्ट, मुझे वही उसका एक बेस दिखाई देता है। क्योंकि ODOP में एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट एक प्रोडक्ट में जो डेवलपमेंट किया जा रहा है, वही क्लस्टर में डेवलपमेंट हुआ है। और मैं सोचता हूँ कि ये क्लस्टर डेवलपमेंट का काम जो हमारे अलग साहब की चेयरमैनशिप में मुकेश गुलाटी जी ने किया आज से शायद 15 साल पहले, ये एक बहुत ही विजनरी स्टेप था, जिसको आज गवर्नमेंट ने ODOP के रूप में रिफॉर्म किया है और कर रहे हैं। परंतु मेरा ये मानना है कि क्लस्टर डेवलपमेंट एक बेसिक यूनिट है जो कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट के डेवलपमेंट से भी ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट में 2 क्लस्टर भी हो सकते हैं, 3 क्लस्टर भी हो सकते हैं। और आप अगर 1 डिस्ट्रिक्ट 1 प्रोडक्ट की बात करते हैं तो एक क्लस्टर डेवलप हो जाएगा, बाकी क्लस्टर्स का क्या होगा। तो इसलिए क्लस्टर का जो महत्व है वो इस तरह से जो पहचाना 15-20 साल हो गए शायद, वो बहुत ही सराहनीय है और मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि मैं इस एसोसिएशन के साथ जुड़ा रहा हूँ। तो जूरी में हमारे जो अन्य विशिष्ट मेंबर्स थे वो भी मैं बताना चाहूँगा आपको। श्री एस.के. टुटेजा चेयरपर्सन और श्री राकेश रिवाड़ी एक्स डिप्टी एमडी सिडबी, श्रीमती अनुभा प्रसाद जीएम सिडबी, डॉक्टर अन्नपूर्णा एमडी नेचर कंजर्वेंसी एंड फॉर्मर फैकल्टी टेरी यूनिवर्सिटी, और मैं था। तो इसमें हम लोगों ने 3 कैटेगरीज में अवार्ड्स देने का निर्णय किया। 3 कैटेगरीज थी, एक तो एनवायरनमेंट प्रमोशन, दूसरी सोशल इंक्लूसिवनेस और तीसरी इनोवेशन। तीनों ही बहुत ही अच्छी कैटेगरी, जिनको हम जिनका मेन उद्देश्य वही था कि किस तरह से इनकी हम इम्पैक्ट को एसेस करें और इन एरियाज़ में हम देखें कि इन लोगों ने कितना इसको अपने मेंबर्स को और सोसाइटी को बेनिफिट पहुंचाया है। एक पॉइंट ये भी है जो मैंने नोट किया, वो था कि ये बहुत ही इंक्लूसिव तरह का प्रोग्राम है। इसके अंदर छोटे छोटे BMOs भी आए, बहुत छोटे छोटे। मुझे ध्यान है कि बिहार, उड़ीसा से छोटा फर्नीचर क्लस्टर और साउथ से एक बहुत ही हैंड टूल क्लस्टर, इस तरह के क्लस्टर्स भी आए। तो बड़े अवार्ड्स तो बहुत होते हैं पूरे देश में, परंतु MSMEs में क्लस्टर लेवल पे बहुत ही रिमोट एरियाज से इस प्रोग्राम में उनको शामिल होने का मौका दिया गया। ये बहुत ही अच्छी और बहुत ही सराहनीय बात है। तो मैं बहुत अधिक नहीं बोलूँगा और केवल आपको सबको कंग्रेचुलेट करूँगा, क्योंकि हमारी स्कोर शीट तो शायद अभी ओपन भी नहीं हुई होगी, वो तो आज ही ओपन होगी। तो ये बहुत ही एक अच्छा कार्यक्रम है और मैं इसके लिए आप सबको, विनर्स को अपनी ओर से बहुत ही बधाई देता हूँ। थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर इनवाइटिंग मी।
I request Mr. Mukesh Gulati for his welcome address.
ऑनरेबल सेक्रेटरी, मैं इस ओपनिंग रिमार्क्स में कुछ अपनी बात रखना चाहता हूँ। आई विल बी स्पीकिंग इन मिक्स्ड लैंग्वेज, हिंदी और अंग्रेज़ी दोनों में बात करूँगा। अभी कुछ ही देर पहले मिस्टर कार्स्टन क्लाइन ने ही स्पोक अबाउट जर्मन MSMEs। तो इन्होंने बताया था कि 2.6 यानी 26 लाख MSMEs हैं जर्मनी में, और कुल मिलाकर के कोई 9 करोड़ लोग काम करते हैं। इसका मतलब हुआ कि करीबन 35 लोग ऑन एन एवरेज एक एंटरप्राइज में काम करते हैं। इंडिया में हमारा वो जो एवरेज है वो कुछ 1.25 के आसपास पड़ता है, यानी कि हर पर एंटरप्राइज 1.5 से 1.25 लोग काम करते हैं, बिकॉज 11 करोड़ लोग 6.64 मिलियन एंटरप्राइजेस कंट्रीब्यूटिंग टू 60% ऑफ द GDP। तो एक जो महत्वपूर्ण चीज़ है, इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ है इन वर्ल्ड ओवर, इज़ दैट ज़्यादातर MSMEs, चाहे वो इंडिया में हो या किसी भी और मुल्क में हो, वो क्लस्टर्स की फॉर्म में ही रहते हैं। जर्मनी में बाडन वुटमबर्ग है, ट्यूटिलिंगन है, स्टुटगार्ट है, और इंडिया में तो नंबर ऑफ क्लस्टर्स की एकदम भरमार है। करीबन 6000 क्लस्टर्स हैं, जिसमें हैंडलूम क्लस्टर्स हैं, हैंडीक्राफ्ट क्लस्टर्स हैं, इंडस्ट्रियल क्लस्टर्स हैं। सो देयर इज अ वेरी वाइड रेंज, बट द नेचर ऑफ एंटरप्राइजेज इज डिफरेंट। और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, विच एवर मिनिस्ट्री वी में कम फ्रॉम, चाहे वो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ MSME हो या टेक्सटाइल मिनिस्ट्री हो या फूड प्रोसेसिंग हो या टेक्सटाइल्स हो, all ministries have now adopted what is called cluster development approach। लेकिन ये जितनी भी अप्रोचेज हैं, ये क्लस्टर्स के माने ही यही हैं कि डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन बहुत हद तक हो गया इसके अंदर, क्योंकि आप सेंट्रल लेवल पे डिसाइड नहीं कर रहे हैं कि क्या करना है, क्लस्टर लेवल पे ही उसका डिसीजन होता है। और इसमें एग्जिस्टिंग एंटरप्राइजेज, न्यू एंटरप्राइजेज, स्टार्टअप्स, इनोवेशन, एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी, बहुत सारे फैसेट्स के ऊपर क्लस्टर डेवलपमेंट के नाम पे काम रहता है। तो जो 2 फ्लैगशिप स्कीम्स हैं गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की, पर्टिकुलरली फ्रॉम मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ MSME स्फूर्ति और MSC CDP, इन दोनों स्कीम्स की डिज़ाइन की स्टेज पे वी वर वेरी फॉर्चुनेट कि हम लोग इसके अंदर इन्वॉल्व थे। उसको डिज़ाइन करने में और फिर बाद में उसको रीशेप करने में भी। बट जिस तरह से वो ओरिजिनली प्लान की गई थी वो दोनों स्कीम्स, उसमें हमारा फोकस हार्डवेयर यानी हार्ड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और सॉफ्टवेयर यानी गवर्नेंस, वैल्यू चेन, लिंकेजेस, प्लेटफॉर्म्स, जिसको हम सॉफ्टवेयर कहते हैं, ये दोनों चीज़ों का हमने बहुत मिश्रण बना करके दिया था और उसी हिसाब से हमने रिसोर्सेज भी एलोकेट करके सजेस्ट किए थे। लेकिन ओवर ए पीरियड ऑफ टाइम ये दोनों स्कीम्स और भी बहुत सारी स्कीम्स ऑफ गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया विच आर फॉर क्लस्टर फोकस्ड हैव बिकम वेरी हाईली फोकस्ड ऑन हार्ड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। तो मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है सेक्रेटरी साहब से कि बिकॉज अब क्लस्टर डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम्स को स्टार्ट हुए करीबन 17-18 साल हो गए हैं इंडिया के अंदर, इट इज़ टाइम टू मे बी हैव अ रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ कि जो प्रोग्राम्स 10 साल पहले हुए या 15 साल पहले हुए वो उस पर्टिकुलर विजन और ऑब्जेक्टिव को अभी भी कैरी फॉरवर्ड कर पा रहे हैं कि नहीं, और अगर उसके अंदर कोई बदलाव लाने की ज़रूरत है तो एक डिटेल्ड केस स्टडी वो फेस्ड अगर हम लोग उसकी एनालिसिस करेंगे तो वी विल बी एबल टू कम अप विद सम बेंचमार्क्स ऑफ व्हाट मे बी मिसिंग एंड मे बी इवन क्रिएट न्यू बेंचमार्क्स विच आर गुड फॉर द नेशन। तो हमारे जो स्फूर्ति है उसका तो प्राइमरी ऑब्जेक्टिव लाइवलीहुड प्रमोशन है, नया एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन करने का है, या एग्जिस्टिंग एम्प्लॉयमेंट को में इनकम एनहेंसमेंट का फोकस है। और जो MSc CDP है उसमें पर्टिकुलरली इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को क्रिएट करके हम लोग R&D, इनोवेशन, technology infusion, those are the major focus areas where we work and also maybe market linkages. बट मैं समझता हूँ कि क्लस्टर का जो पॉसिबल स्कोप है वो बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा है। फॉर एग्जांपल एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी, जिसके ऊपर एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी विद क्लस्टर अप्रोच इज समथिंग विच इज स्टिल इन अ नेसेंट स्टेज, और उसमें बहुत सारी और पॉसिबिलिटीज़ भी हैं। वेस्ट रिसाइकलिंग, ग्रीन एनर्जी प्रमोशन, पर्टिकुलरली पिछला वाला जो हमारा सेशन इनोवेशन और स्टार्टअप्स के ऊपर था, उसमें अगर हम लोग कुछ क्लस्टर्स को आइडेंटिफाई कर पाएँ जो कि स्टार्टअप्स और इनोवेशन क्लस्टर्स के नाम से उनको बोला जाए, तो 6000 में से हो सकता है कुछ 200-300 ऐसे क्लस्टर्स हों जिनके ऊपर इसका बहुत महत्वपूर्ण फोकस डाला जा सकता है। एकेडमिक्स और इंडस्ट्री का इंटरफेस करने के क्लस्टर्स, चाइना में कम से कम नहीं तो 70-80 यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में या तो फुल फ्लेजेड MSMEs के ऊपर ही काम करती हैं, या MSMEs में पूरा का पूरा एक डिपार्टमेंट ही है जो कि अलग अलग बड़ी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में काम करता है। इस तरह का हमारा फोकस यहाँ नहीं है। ज़्यादातर यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में या MBA पढ़ाया जाता है या एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप कहीं कहीं पढ़ाया जाता है, लेकिन MSMEs को फोकस करके जो लोकल लेवल पे क्लस्टर के अंदर की रिसर्च चाहिए उसकी बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है। और जो हमारे बहुत छोटे छोटे एंटरप्राइजेज हैं जिनमें लगभग 2 एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं पर एंटरप्राइज, उसको इंक्रीज करके 4 या 5 तक या 6 या 7 तक कैसे लेके जाया जाए, ताकि जो हमारी रिक्वायरमेंट है इन टर्म्स ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन दैट कैन बी टेकन केयर ऑफ। और इसके लिए कुछ शायद बदलाव लाने की ज़रूरत है हमारे क्लस्टर अप्रोच के अंदर या क्लस्टर स्कीम्स के अंदर, और मेरा निवेदन रहेगा कि उसके ऊपर थोड़ा डिटेल में हमें जाना चाहिए। और उसके लिए एक बहुत क्रिटिकल फैक्टर जो प्ले करता है वो है हमारी इंडस्ट्री एसोसिएशंस, क्योंकि इंडस्ट्री एसोसिएशंस के पास जो भी पैसा रहता है वो अधिकतर उनका अपना ही पैसा रहता है, यानी कि वो जो मेंबरशिप से इकट्ठा करते हैं। अभी बहुत सारे चेंबर्स ऑफ कॉमर्स के पास एक्सपोर्ट सर्टिफिकेट्स वगैरह इशू करने के लिए जो सरकार की स्टैट्यूटरी रिकग्निशन है, बिकॉज ऑफ विच दे आर एबल टू गेट सम मनी, बट जो स्मॉल इंडस्ट्री एसोसिएशंस हैं उनके पास इस तरह के कोई स्टैट्यूटरी रोल्स नहीं हैं, और इंफॉर्मेशन गैदरिंग का कोई रोल हो जिसके लिए उनको पे किया जा सकता हो, कोई स्ट्रॉन्ग सेक्रेटेरिएट बिल्ड हो सकते हों, किस तरह से वो कॉमन फैसिलिटीज़ को खुद डिज़ाइन करके इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हों और रन कर सकते हों, मैनेज कर सकते हों। इसके अलावा कुछ फाइनेंशियल लिंकेजेस एनेबल कर सकते हों विच विल ऑल्सो लीड टू मे बी गिविंग देम सम अमाउंट ऑफ फीस। I'm sure in many of the European countries, and probably Mr. Carsten would be much aware about it in Germany also, इस तरह के रोल्स बहुत क्लियरली डिफाइन किए गए हैं कि सरकार की तौर से कि इंडस्ट्री एसोसिएशंस के क्या रोल मिनिमम रहेंगे, ताकि प्रेशर गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स के ऊपर कम रहे और वो लोग इंडस्ट्री एसोसिएशन वाले रोल लोग गवर्नमेंट के डिपार्टमेंट्स के रोल को भी सप्लीमेंट कर पाएं, कॉम्प्लीमेंट कर पाएं। क्लस्टर की ब्रांड बिल्डिंग के ऊपर विदेशों में बहुत जगह पे काम हुआ है। हमारे पास उस तरह के कोई बहुत ज़्यादा एग्जाम्पल्स नहीं है इंडिया के अंदर क्लस्टर की ब्रांडिंग और उसको प्रमोट करने के लिए। तो इस तरह के अगर हम लोग एग्जाम्पल्स को आगे लेके जाना चाहते हैं तो ODOP, OBOP यानी कि वन ब्लॉक वन प्रोडक्ट, और बहुत सारे कंट्रीज़ में तो वन विलेज वन प्रोडक्ट भी रहता है। तो इस तरह के जो एग्जाम्पल्स हैं, अगर उनकी कोई केस स्टडीज़ बन सकती हों, रिपोजिटरीज़ बन सकती हों, नॉलेज वहाँ से हम ड्रॉ कर सकते हों, उसके लिए पर्टिकुलरली यूनिडो जैसी कुछ संस्थाओं के साथ अगर हम लोग लिंक करें, जिनके पास कुछ 25, 30, 40 कंट्रीज़ के एक्सपीरियंसेस हैं, और उनको हम ड्रॉप ऑन कर सकें, और इंडिया के केस में न केवल हम उनमें से कुछ लर्न कर सकें, बट हमने बहुत सारे अच्छे काम किए हैं इंडिया के अंदर, जो मुझे लगता है कि यूनिडो जैसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को भी, वर्ल्ड बैंक ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को भी, ADB को भी, और बहुत सारी कंट्रीज़ को भी हम लोग यहाँ से जो अच्छी बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस हैं वो हम लोग उनको दे सकते हैं। बट दैट विल रिक्वायर अ ग्रेटर डिग्री ऑफ इंटरेक्शन विद सच इंटरनेशनल एजेंसीज। मैं समझता हूं कि अगर इस तरह का हमारा फोकस रहेगा आने वाले समय के अंदर, तो मैं कुछ इनपुट्स देना चाह रहा था जो मुझे लगता है कि शायद हमारे को बहुत आगे लेके जाएगा। और जो मेजर एरियाज ऑफ वर्क हैं, जैसे which are those small sectors which can create livelihood and employment generation for 10 lakh people. Or one area that we have worked in the last many years is bamboo sector. Bamboo is a very less known area, जिसके ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा हिंदुस्तान में काम नहीं हुआ है, फेलियर ज़्यादा हुए हैं, सक्सेसेस बहुत कम हुए हैं। बट सिर्फ बैम्बू सेक्टर में ही 10 लाख लोगों के रोज़गार की पॉसिबिलिटी है। तो हमारी कुछ इंटरेक्शंस हुई हैं मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रूरल डेवलपमेंट के साथ और मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर के साथ, और उसके अंदर हम लोगों ने ये देखा कि जो बास्केट्स बनाने का काम है, सूपा बनाने का काम है, डलिया बनाने का काम है, ट्रेडिशनल प्रोडक्ट्स बनाने का काम है, उससे 10 लाख रोज़गार जनरेट नहीं हो पाएंगे। 10 लाख रोज़गार जनरेट करने के लिए हमें उनका इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन करना पड़ेगा, विच मीन्स अगर हम लोग बैम्बू को उगाएं और उसके बाद उसके पीसेस काट करके NTPC और स्टील प्लांट्स और एल्युमिनियम प्लांट्स और इस टाइप के प्लांट्स में अगर हम भेजें, या उससे हम फर्नीचर बनाएं, या उससे बड़ी बड़ी बिल्डिंग्स बनाएं, तो उससे जितना ज़्यादा बैम्बू का इस्तेमाल होगा, दैट विल बी मच बेटर, एंड दैट विल पॉसिबली लीड टू industrialization of many of these sectors. So a lot of our handicrafts also, for example, can go into that direction to take it forward. तो मैं कुछ अपने सुझाव देना चाह रहा था इसको मद्देनज़र रखते हुए, जो मैं समझता हूँ कि शायद हमारे फ्यूचरिस्टिक एरियाज़ के लिए काम करेंगे, और उस चीज़ के लिए हम as an organization we want to continue to support the government of India through various ministries to take it forward. And with that I will conclude and thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Shri Ajay Shankar ji, Chairperson, Foundation for MSME Clusters, for his special remarks.
I'd like to begin by thanking Mr. Swain, the Secretary of the MSME Ministry, for sparing time and joining us today. ये तो बड़ा हर्ष का दिन है आज, क्योंकि पहली बार हम लोग इतने बड़े हॉल में एक साथ मिल रहे हैं, और जो BMOs ने अच्छा काम किया है उस काम पर हम उन्हें सम्मान देंगे, और जो BMO साथी आज यहाँ नहीं मौजूद हैं उनको भी हम सम्मान देंगे, क्योंकि एक BMOs का जो एक वातावरण देश में है वो MSME के विकास के लिए बहुत आवश्यक है। जैसे पहले कहा गया था कि क्लस्टर का उत्पन्न होना तो स्वाभाविक है और इतिहास में होता रहा है। मंडियाँ होती हैं अलग अलग, वैसे ही और जो उत्पादन होता है आर्टिजनल प्रोडक्ट्स के, वो क्लस्टर्स में होता रहा है सदियों से। तो एक मैं छोटा सा उदाहरण दूंगा कि जो ग्लोबलाइजेशन की बात होती है तो भारतवर्ष में भी एक तरह से ग्लोबलाइजेशन की परंपरा रही है। तो मैं बहुत साल पहले कानपुर में कमिश्नर हुआ करता था, तो कन्नौज में इत्र का काम होता था, वो आज भी होता है, और इत्र का काम बड़ा ग्लोबलाइज ढंग से होता था। इधर हिंदुस्तान में और कहीं नहीं बनता था। और वहाँ जो चंदन की लकड़ी है कर्नाटक से आती थी, आती है आज भी, और जो फूल हैं वो सहारनपुर वगैरह ज़िलों से आते थे, और स्पेशलाइजेशन तब भी था। तो आज के दिन में जो इस बात पर हमें विचार करने की ज़रूरत है, और सबको विचार करने की ज़रूरत है और सोचने की ज़रूरत है कि पिछले 2 साल में कोविड से हम बहुत कष्ट में रहे, और ख़ास करके छोटे उद्योग जिनको कहते हैं, जो अपना धंधा करते हैं, उनको बहुत कष्ट हुआ है। और हम सब सरकार के आभारी हैं कि कठिनाई के समय में बहुत कुछ सरकार ने किया जिससे कि कष्ट कम हो। लेकिन आज जब कोविड हमारे पीछे हो गया है, तो हमें सोचना है कि कैसे हम बहुत तेज़ गति से एमएसएमई सेक्टर को आगे ले जाएं, क्योंकि इसकी तरक्की के बिना न तो रोजगार का सृजन हो सकता है, जिस तरह हमें रोजगार सृजन की आवश्यकता है, और जो समाज में असमानता बढ़ रही है, आर्थिक और क्षेत्रीय असमानता, वो उसको कम करने का भी यही माध्यम है कि ये क्षेत्र बहुत तेज़ गति से विकास करे। तो इसमें कैसे नई ऊर्जा और नई गति आए, उस पर हम सब लोगों को सोचना है, विचार करना है, सरकार के सामने सुझाव देने हैं, राज्य सरकारों के सामने सुझाव देना है, और इससे ज़्यादा आवश्यक है कि एक दूसरे को हम सुझाव दें कि भाई कैसे हम मिलजुल के काम करें। क्योंकि आर्थिक क्षेत्र में हमारे देश में भी बहुत समय लगा हम लोगों को समझने में कि सरकार तो इस हद तक ही मदद कर सकती है, लेकिन आर्थिक विकास उद्योग में, धंधे में, व्यापार में हमें खुद करना है। और क्लस्टर में अगर मिलजुल कर करेंगे तो और तेज़ी से विकास होगा। तो जर्मनी की बात की गई, तो मुझे बड़ा ताज्जुब हुआ जान के कि जर्मनी में तो नियम है कि आपको अपने चेंबर का सदस्य अनिवार्य बनना अनिवार्य है, और उनके यहाँ एक ही चेंबर है। तो क्लस्टर लेवल से बड़े उद्योग, छोटे उद्योग करके एक एपेक्स चेंबर है जिसे सरकार बात करती है। I was just saying that in Germany, if I remember correctly, every enterprise has to be a member of some business association, and you have a base at the bottom, and it goes up to the pyramid, and therefore government is able to talk to one voice from industry, and that is a source of great strength. और जर्मनी ने जो कामयाबी हासिल की है, वो उसका भी हमें एहसास करना चाहिए कि दुनिया में प्रति घंटे जो मजदूरों की आमदनी है, वो दुनिया में सबसे ज़्यादा जर्मनी में है। और 2 साल पहले तक मैन्युफैक्चर्ड गुड्स में सबसे ज़्यादा एक्सपोर्ट या निर्यात जर्मनी करता था। और किस लिए करता था? क्योंकि उनका जो मीडियम और स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज की जो दुनिया है, वो बहुत मजबूत है। उसमें इनोवेशन भी होता है, क्वालिटी भी होता है, और होता रहता है। अब तो खैर चीन आगे बढ़ गया है, और हमें जो अपने देश की ओर सोचना है, तो हम इस बात से अपनी बात ख़त्म करना चाहेंगे कि 1991 में हम और चीन बराबर थे, पर कैपिटा इनकम, प्रति व्यक्ति आय बराबर थी, और तकनीकी क्षेत्र में दुनिया में कोई नहीं कहता था कि वो हमसे आगे हैं। हम बराबर थे, कहीं हम आगे थे, कहीं वो आगे थे। आज वो हमसे 5 गुना आगे हैं। तो हमें अब लक्ष्य रखना चाहिए कि ये 5 गुना आगे होने की जो दूरी हो गई है, उसको हम कितनी तेज़ी से कम करना शुरू करें। हम कर सकते हैं, हमें क्षमता है, हमें योग्यता है। अगर एक सही रास्ते पर से मिलजुल के सोच के काम करेंगे, तो हम बहुत तेज़ी से आगे बढ़ेंगे। और जो गरीबी को ख़त्म करने का उद्देश्य होना चाहिए, वो तो अगले 10 साल में हमें कर सकना चाहिए, अगर ये क्षेत्र बहुत तेज़ी से दौड़ पड़े। धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to request all our dignitaries to kindly inaugurate our case study booklet of the 6th BMO Responsible Awards. May I have the case studies, please? Can you please help? Please help. If required. No, not really. It's okay. Huh. I request all our dignitaries to kindly inaugurate the award ceremony by lighting the lamp. I would like to request Shri Ajay Shankar ji to kindly felicitate Shri B.B. Swain ji with the memento. And yes, sir. And now I request Shri Mukesh Gulati ji to felicitate Shri Ajay Shankar ji. Thank you, sir. May I request the presentation, and thus we begin the award ceremony. May we have the presentation on the slides, on the screen? Before we start the slides, just a second. Before we start the slides, I would like to request Shri B.B. Swain ji for his address to the audience.
Thank you, sir. My esteemed senior, Dr. Ajay Shankar ji, Sri Mukesh Gulati, Dr. Kumar, who has just left and has become a very close friend in the last 2 years since I've been in this ministry, Dr. Carlstein. I can see my friend Mr. Singh's name somewhere in the awardees, I guess. I mean, his face momentarily appeared and then vanished from the screen. So, leak ho gaya, mujhe lag raha hai ki it kind of got leaked by mistake. But you are very happy, and I'm also equally happy for you. So, it's great to see old friends right here in the hall. Esteemed, all the esteemed awardees, the esteemed dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. It was it was quite a thing to realize that Dr. Y.K. Alag actually was the first founder president of this organization. I first came across Dr. Alag way back in '92, sir. We happened to be fellow Ahmedabadis. His entire work, he lived in Ahmedabad. Ma'am was very much from Gujarat, and I also lived quite a bit of my career in Ahmedabad only. And at one point of time, way back in '92, sir, he was vice chairman of our planning commission. There was a state planning commission. And as a very junior officer, I was put as secretary to the commission. So I had really great experience with him. And he was such an humble person. He would often drive me to the station when I had to catch a train to Surat, which was my earlier posting as a SDM. And he would often offer, and from the office straight, he would drive a Maruti van and he would drop me in the station. A great man. He became Vice Chancellor of JNU immediately after that. And his PS of that period would ring me up and call me Dr. Swain, till the point I told him that Dr. Alag has gone into the world of the professors, but I don't have a PhD or anything. Don't call me Dr. Swain. But great memories, sir, a great man. And it's nice to realize today that he had such a close association with this particular organization. And I think we can only celebrate a great life which he led, a great life in many fields. For my state, Gujarat, of course, he had immense contribution. He had immense contribution for the country. Conferring awards on entrepreneurs is not just a recognition of their contribution to the MSME ecosystem in the country, but also encourages them to outperform themselves. There is no denying that MSMEs have shown tremendous resilience during the COVID time and have faced its aftermath very bravely. Truly, they need to be applauded. I congratulate the organizers of today's event for having very relevant categories of awards. I have been informed that the process of shortlisting was extremely rigorous, and the award winners are those who have done exemplary work. My personal congratulations to all the awardees. As Mr. Gulati was talking about the organization and the wonderful work which they have done, he did talk about the fact that a lot of new changes can come in the existing schemes. We would be very open to it. Actually, when we revise this entire scheme, there is a third scheme also which is very specialized to the northeast of the country, which is a similar kind of a scheme which we call clusters for NER and Sikkim area. Pretty similar. We also added services this time to the concept of clusters for the first time. And it goes without saying that it is the stakeholder consultation which will keep improving this. We will be always very open. When we went to the EFC for all these schemes, we did a lot of stakeholder consultations. We did a third-party assessment, and quite a bit of these changes were brought in. But quite obviously, there is always a scope for newer changes. The point which you made regarding the fact that it has become very, very hardware kind of a thing, yes, it could be. It is perfectly possible because majority of the investment would go there. Spurti has strong components of the software which you talked about. It has very strong component, might not be, the other larger programs probably do not have that kind of a component, but the earlier ones used to have. Recently I visited an apparel cluster in Nagpur called Orange City Cluster, a very successful cluster, 2,000 women working in that particular cluster, Nagpur. They said this was among the very first ones. And exactly what Mr. Gulati said did exist, those things. They had to go through a process of training. There was a process of, kind of getting acclimatized to the concept of clusters. The only thing is maybe today we want to do things very fast. So we don't want that 3, 4, 5 years kind of a thing. We want everything to be completed in 2 years. Somewhere we have to find the mid thing which kind of balances out both. The point is very, very well taken and will definitely work. And you are always welcome to give us the ideas which we will definitely value. The MSMEs are spread across the sectors, pan-India. The contribution to the Indian economy in terms of GDP, exports and employment is well known. The Ministry of MSME is working closely with other central ministries, departments, all stakeholders and all state governments with the twin objective of what we call a coordinated response. This is something, sir, we have been very consistently trying through all our new schemes like RAMP and other schemes, is where we need to have a coordinated response to each and every issue, to each and every problem. The center, the states, the stakeholders, the associations, we should be having our response should be coordinated. Looks simple. As my esteemed senior Dr. Sankar will certify, pretty difficult to achieve. And this is something which quite obviously we are working on. That is the ambition. All our schemes are being designed on that basis. And I hope at some point of time we'll definitely achieve that coordinated response to the essential issues and the convergence that MSME can benefit from various initiatives. The RAM program has been recently rolled out. We are working together with state governments on strategic investment plans to provide a conducive environment to MSMEs of the country. You'll be very happy to know, sir, that all states have joined. It's just a question of 2 months. Just exactly 2 months back, the invites went to all the states to join RAMP as a program. And today, I'm very happy to report that the very last state which had joined, just joined 2 weeks back. But all states are on board on this particular program. So I hope this particular program will achieve the coordinated response and the convergence which we keep talking about. Recently, I would also like to mention 2 or 3 things. There is a recent successful integration of the Udyam registration portal, which we launched in 2020. And I'll be very happy to report that 1.25 crore is the today's figure. So it is a real-time figure, so on mobiles itself we can check. And every day we are getting an entry which ranges between 30 to 50,000, so which is substantial. On a day, it's a cumulative database growing every day, 1.25 crore at that time. And recently we connected Udyam with the Ministry of Labour and Employment's National Career Service. This we did on 14th of September. And since that integration of both these portals, 3.5 lakh MSMEs have already asked for access and given to the database of skilled and non-skilled workers. The essential concept is to bring in all these portals together so that MSMEs at all levels start getting the benefit of it in portals which are being promoted by other ministries. We are also working towards ensuring credit facilitation, skilling and recruitment through online modes. These efforts will go a long way in helping our MSME sector, which as per Udyam portal has already registered more than, as I told you, 1.25 crore. Our approach has been positive, proactive and stakeholder driven. The DC office has started few months back to go specific sector by sector, because we appreciate that we are sector agnostic, but there are issues which relate to particular sectors and we need to take up those things with the concerned ministries. And a sector-wise kind of a stakeholder consultation has started producing good results for us. Our recent notification for extending the non-tax benefits for a period of 3 years instead of 1 year in case of an upward change in the classification as a micro or small or a medium will benefit a large number of enterprises who are hitherto hesitant in adopting a growth-oriented strategy. We are in the midst of bringing in some positive changes into the policy which the stakeholders have been asking for. We hope to see some affirmative modification which will address payment-related issues, public procurement, access to credit. Sir, incidentally, on public procurement, I would like to say that against a target of 25%, this year the government achieved 36%. So this is something which every CPSC, every ministry has worked consciously, that the 25% target set, a very high target set by the government, should be surpassed. And it's a real pleasure to reach that kind of a percentage which has been done this year. My congratulations to all the award winners for their endeavor. I wish them good luck. Sir, what I really enjoy in this kind of meetings is to listen to the stories. I went to Faridabad and I heard the story of Mr. Singh. That is why, in fact, I told him that you write a book on that, because nothing can be better than that. I'm quite sure there are many Mr. Singhs here, or Miss Singhs and Mrs. Singhs. So this is the thing which I really look forward to. Today, I'll have to leave in a few minutes. Next time when you're meeting, I would really like to give some more time. Listen to those wonderful stories of courage, those stories of brave men and women who are our major clients. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. In a while. I'll introduce the 50. I'll introduce the BMOs first. These are the top 15 finalists of our BMO awards. The first one is Federation of Industrial and Commercial Organizations. They were established in year 2013 as a trust and has membership of about 1,982 industrial and commercial enterprises. They worked on tree plantation drive, cleaned the choked sewage causing water logging on the road, and donated a sanitizer machine to Ludhiana Corporation during COVID. Tamil Nadu Small and Tiny Industries Association. They were established in year 1992. They converted a huge volume of biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste into energy for industrial and domestic use. Moina Ramakrishnan Association. They were registered in year 1992 with a membership of 750 MSMEs. They established a CETP treatment unit to treat industrial effluent discharge, thereby preventing environment and health hazards. Integrated Association of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises of India. The BMO was registered in year 2009 and has a membership of 8,000 enterprises pan-India. They developed a web-based portal for MSME business development by providing market access and increased product visibility. All Bengal Steel Furniture Manufacturers Association. They were registered in year 2004 and has membership of more than 5,000 MSMEs. They worked on pollution control by installing closed-door hydraulic machines and also spread various awareness programs for the same. Havra Industrial Estate Industries Welfare Association. They were registered in year 2011. Havra Industrial Estate Industries Welfare Association has membership of 92 MSMEs. They worked on mobilizing funds and repairing damaged tanks and pipelines, thereby providing hassle-free access to water to neighborhood of Havra. India Textile Accessories and Machinery Manufacturers Association. The BMO was registered in year 1943 as a trust with a membership of 354 textile associations. They launched 5 different missions, which were mainly Scouting Mission, Technology Awareness and Dissemination Mission, Technology Adaption Mission, Technology Marketing Mission, and Mission Green Environment. Ekta Mahila Kukut Palak Swavlambi Sehkari Samiti Limited. They were registered in year 2009 and has a membership of more than 600 self-employed tribals. They provided alternative source of livelihood to 411 tribals through poultry farming, thereby increasing the income by at least 20%. Narayana Industrial Area CEPT Society. They registered in year 2017 with a membership of 750 MSMEs. They established a CETP treatment unit to treat industrial effluent discharge, thereby preventing environmental and health hazards. Shanti Niketan Artistic Leather Goods Manufacturers Welfare Association. They were registered in year 2005 and has a membership of 138 manufacturing MSMEs. They worked on converting leather waste into products such as keychains, coins, purses, watch straps, card holders, and shoes. Vanita Jyoti Mahila Sangam. They registered in year 1994 as a society with the objective of empowering women. They provided 1,000 SHG members vocational training and converging with financial institutions for enterprise establishment and growth. Pink City Rickshaw Limited. They were established in year 2016 as social enterprise by Access Development Services. They customized trainings on driving, vehicle maintenance, various soft skills required for becoming capable and confident e-rickshaw drivers, thereby creating livelihood opportunities with women. Ma Durga Devi Producer Company Limited. They were established in year 2016 with a membership of 2,000 MSMEs. They customized trainings on driving, vehicle maintenance, and also worked on various soft skills required for becoming capable and confident e-rickshaw drivers, thereby creating livelihood opportunities with women. Tara Sankar Panchgram Seva Samiti. They were established in year 2003 with a membership of 1,000 weavers. They worked on recovering yarn from used waste saris and used it as a weft yarn in weaving, thus reducing the cost of production of fabric considerably and increasing the profitability. In addition to that, yarn recovering and recycling operations kept the weavers gainfully employed full-time, partially for weaving and partially for yarn recovery. Najrul Sukanta Producer Company Limited. They were established in year 2005 and they worked on adoption of system of rice intensification that gives high yield with less water and low cost of cultivation. All the best, all the BMOs, all the best. And now, I would like to request all our dignitaries to please come down the stage to felicitate our BMOs. So the first thematic area for the award felicitation is promoting green environment at state and country level. The second runner-up for this category is Moina Ramakrishnan Association. The first runner-up for promoting green environment thematic area, state and country level, the first runner-up is Tanstia FNF Service Center. And now, the winner for the thematic area promoting green environment, state/country level. Please put your hands together for Federation of Industrial and Commercial Organizations. Moving on to the district, cluster, and SPV level for the thematic area promoting green environment. The second runner-up for this category is Shanti Niketan Artistic Leather Manufacturers Welfare Association. The first runner-up for this category in the level district, cluster and SPV level is Tara Sankar Panchgram Seva Samiti. Do we have some? And the winner for promoting green environment thematic area at district, cluster and SPV level, the winner is Narayana Industrial Area CETP Society. Moving on to the thematic area promoting social cause and ethical practices. At state and country level, the second runner-up for this category is Howrah Industrial Estate. May we have somebody from the Howrah Industrial Estate? The first runner-up for promoting social cause and ethical practices at state and country level. The first runner-up for this category is All Bengal Steel Furniture. And the winner for promoting social cause and ethical practices category at the state and country level. Please put your hands together for Integrated Association of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises of India. Moving on to the district, cluster and SPV level of thematic area promoting social cause and ethical practices. The second runner-up for this category is Ma Durga Devi Producer Company Limited, and as there's nobody from Ma Durga Devi Producer Company Limited, I request Ms. Suchismita Nayak to kindly come up the stage and accept the felicitation. The first runner-up for district, cluster and SPV level for thematic area promoting social cause and ethical practices is Ekta Mahila Kukut Palak Swablambi Sahakari Samiti Limited. वो विनर के लिए बोल रहा हूँ. And the winner for promoting social cause and ethical practices at district, cluster and SPV level, I would like you all to please put your hands together for Vanita Jyoti Mahila Sangam. For the thematic area of innovation at the state and country level, the second runner-up for this category is Integrated Association of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Please, sir. And now, the first runner-up for this category is Tanstia FNF Service Center. Are they coming? And ladies and gentlemen, the winner for state and country level in the thematic area of innovation, I'll request you to please put your hands together for Indian Textile Association and Machinery Manufacturers Association. Moving on to the district, cluster and SPB level, the second runner-up for the thematic area of innovation is Najrul Sukanta Producer Company Limited. May I have a huge round of applause, please? And the first runner-up for this category is Shanti Niketan Artistic Leather Manufacturers Welfare Association. And now, the winner for the thematic area innovation, district, cluster and SPV level. I'll request a huge round of applause for Pink City Rickshaw Limited. Thank you. Yeah. And now, I'll request all our dignitaries to be back on the stage. Now we have reached at the end of a successful event. And with the kind of encouraging words of our Honorable Secretary B.B. Swainji, BMOs will be more enthused to undertake responsible activities more effectively, efficiently in the coming years, and look forward to the next edition of BMO Awards. With this, now I invite Mr. Iqbal Ahmed, General Manager, Foundation of MSME Clusters, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Saksham. I know that I might be standing between you and lunch, so I'll be as brief as possible. As Saksham said, that we've reached the end of a very successful event, and I take this opportunity and honor on behalf of Foundation for MSME Cluster to extend our sincere thanks to Shri B.B. Swan, Sir, Secretary MSME, for taking out his valuable time to grace this occasion. Thank you, sir. I would also like to thank Dr. Shubhranshu Acharya, CGM SIDBI, Dr. Anubhav Prasad, GM SIDBI, and Dr. Carsten Klein, South Asia Regional Director of FNF, for continuously supporting this event with a larger mandate to support the MSME sector. In the morning, we had a session on innovation in MSMEs, where we had participation from in a panel discussion, and I would like to thank Dr. Bhaskar Chatterjee, CEO, Anil Agarwal Foundation, Dr. Manisha Acharya, founder, Women Entrepreneur Forum, Mr. Vimal Kumar, co-founder, Finovista, for participating in this discussion and highlighting the need of for innovation in the MSME sector. We've had the last session that we had today. We've had several important discussions and points, which include actually analyzing where we are with respect to the government schemes and judging them against the benchmarks, and maybe if required, setting up new benchmarks. The key interesting aspect is which our chairman sir shared, that in 1991, India and China were more equal. So I think we also need to think that how do we take our country, and maybe can we have an objective of having a net zero $5 trillion economy in the next 2 to 3 years. I think that is a perspective with which everybody has to come together, and I think the BMOs play a very important role in this. So last but not the least, on behalf of Foundation for MSME Clusters, special thanks to our chairman sir, Shri Ajay Shankarji. Thank you, sir. I would also like to thank Shri Mukesh Gulati, Executive Director, Foundation for MSME Clusters, and Dr. Tamal Sarkar, Senior Advisor, Foundation for MSME Clusters, for initiating the BMO Award as a motivation to MSME sector as a whole. Special thanks to all the participants who applied for the BMO Awards, and congratulations to all the winners. And to everybody else who has participated in this event, and please excuse me if I have missed any names, because your presence is an encouragement for us to keep on organizing more events like this, through which we can highlight the good work being done by the BMOs and the MSME sector. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
And thus, we conclude our 6th Responsible BMO Award session. And I would like to request all of you to kindly join us for the lunch outside the hall. Okay.